Hey everybody, you are listening to Tampa Bay Sports Talk episode 22. You're right, you're hearing my voice. I'm back. Busy season, but TB3's worth it. So I'm Joel, we got Will here. Colby got fired. Just kidding, he's here too. With the gang's all here, and
not fired yet, boys.
Christmas has come, Christmas is gone, but sports are still here, and we're going to talk about some of them.
Yep. Happy after Christmas. Before you get it, Happy New Year, guys. We can't wait to go into 2024 with all of you guys who listen to these podcasts. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, a great day. I know we all did. We were watching sports, getting gifts, giving gifts, all that good stuff, going to church on Christmas Eve, all of the stuff you need to happen. I also had another little fun experience on Christmas Eve because I got to see your Tampa Bay Buccaneers live in person. You guys had a TB3 correspondent. It was me. I was at the game, and it was glorious, man. An absolutely banging game for the Bucs.
Yeah, it was unreal. I can't wait to talk about it. But did you guys get what you wanted for Christmas? Get any Tampa Bay sports gear, maybe?
I actually didn't.
I didn't either.
I didn't.
I'm slacking.
In the past, I have, but not this year. I feel like I'm stocked up. I need some Rays shirts, though.
I don't. That's my thing too. It's like I don't have enough time to wear all my Tampa Bay stuff, so like I kind of need to downsize a little bit and pick what I truly want to wear.
Yeah, I definitely.
Some of my stuff gets neglected in that closet.
I definitely need more Lightning stuff. I just Fanatics lets me down so many times. They never have good stuff on there. They never have jerseys. I'm sorry, I'm not wearing a Fanatics brand Lightning jersey.
That's about all you can get.
Exactly.
On that note, my Lightning shirt that I really love has a giant hole in it around where your belt is.
The blue one?
Yeah, so I was trying to find why that's happening.
No.
So I'm probably going to get a new belt to protect my Lightning shirt. So
That's awesome.
That's my post-Christmas purchase that I'm going to be making. It's a belt that helps against those holes.
That's how you know he loves the shirt.
I love that shirt so much. And it's like $60 to get it like on a resale site. So I got to protect this shirt. My Stamp Coast Blue throwback shirt.
It's a nice shirt. Dude, what year? I think it was COVID they had those jerseys. It was like the blue.
Reverse retro. Yeah.
Those were sick, man. Those were sick tarps. But yeah. Oh, man.
I got some Bucs stuff.
Got shirts?
Got a shirt.
You got shoes,
shirt.
right?
I got the shoes.
Let's go.
Wear them right now. Getting them all,
the heat on.
breaking them in like a new baseball glove. Got some Knowles stuff. Got some Seminoles gear, blanket.
Dude, you look like you could get athletic in those shoes right there. Those might be the new playing shoes.
I wear them to work. Because the Nike Air Pegasus. I have a white pair for running, and we play pickleball so much those things got obliterated, and they're like gray now. They're not even white. So I couldn't do these beautiful, gorgeous Bucs shoes. But yeah, if you're listening right now, let us know what Tampa Bay sports gear you got for Christmas. Leave a comment under YouTube when this comes up. We're on Instagram. Just randomly, even if it doesn't apply to the post at all, we just want to hear it. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. Mm-hmm. Again, if you're here, maybe you're off for the holidays.
Oh, before we go, I got my brother a throwback USF sweater.
It's sick.
It's very
sick.
cool.
He was wearing it. I saw him. He was wearing it last night.
Of it?
I thought about keeping it for myself.
Dude, it's yellow and green with the USF script. Oh, it's so fire. And yeah, while we're looking up a picture of Ethan, former TB3 host, who might be next week, might be here soon. While we're looking up that picture, I just want to remind you guys, if you're on YouTube, please subscribe. Please, like it, leave a comment. Like Will said, we love all the comments we get. If you're listening on Spotify, follow, hit the little 5 stars, and then obviously Instagram, Twitter, we're posting on that. Leave a comment, like, follow, all that good stuff. And also, we might be going a little bit long again this week because we got some extra college football stuff. We got USF Bulls to talk about. Whew! And so it might be a little long, but we do have timestamps. We do have timestamps for this episode. So if you want to skip ahead, skip around, have Monday be your Bucs day, Tuesday be your Bulls day, whatever, you're welcome to do that. Click around. We got timestamps. But we're starting off Bucs because, man, oh, man, are these Buccaneers hot right now.
Yeah, they really are.
Winners of the last 4 now?
Yep.
4 in a row.
Winners.
It's the opposite of snowballing. Everybody gave Todd Bowles grief for the snowball comment, but we're snowballing uphill now.
Baby.
We're like Sisyphus. What's the dude who holds the rock up?
Oh yeah, the
Sisyphus, right? That's his name. Dude,
I
don't know.
No idea.
If you're Sigma, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, why did I say that? If you're Sigma, you know what I'm talking about. Just kidding. There's nothing Sigma about this podcast.
Alpha males.
Oh yeah, this is a podcast full of alpha males and Sigma males. All right, man.
Yeah, but alpha males, man, that sure was your Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Christmas Eve, 4:05 p.m. The game was on CBS. It was not Tony Romo and Jim Nantz, as some of us may have hoped. They were on Nickelodeon for the Chiefs and Raiders, so I feel bad for them. But
it was somewhat better in some people's opinions.
yeah,
Mine.
Kevin Harlan.
I love Kevin Harlan, man. Absolute legend.
Joe Buck was kind of annoying me on this call, though.
Joe Buck?
Wasn't he on this call?
No, that was Kevin Harlan. Joe Buck's the dude who does Monday Night Football.
Okay, he was annoying me last night. I was trying to remember what game
Yeah,
he was in.
he's annoying, but
That's why you always watch the Manning cast when you can on Monday nights.
that's true. That's facts.
I religiously watch that. I don't know. I agree with you. Joe Buck does kind of get he gets old. But it's neither here nor there. Your Buccaneers, Christmas Eve, we had a TB3 correspondent there. The stadium was rocking, man. And despite kind of a cloudy, gloomy day, the Bucs were ready to go in their red uniforms. I haven't seen that. I don't think we've even seen it all year outside of the Eagles game.
Long time.
Is that the last time they wore it, the Eagles?
I don't. This might have been. Yeah, if this wasn't the first time, it was the second time. They have not been putting them on much lately.
Yeah, it's been a minute, and they were glorious.
It was the Bills.
Bills.
We might. It was.
Wait.
We did Eagles and Bills. I
No,
think.
because the Bills was a away game.
No, but Bills, they wore red and white pants.
And we...
The Bucs wore pewter helmets, red jerseys, white pants.
Worst combo we have.
I know it. You can look it up all you
I
want.
believe you.
Wait, no way. No way.
Dude, I think it was just the Eagles, I'm pretty sure.
Man, I thought it was the Bills, bro. All right. I'm wrong. I saw the picture of the Hail Mary. There's no way.
I have that saved on my phone
Yeah,
when we win the
there's-
Super Bowl.
To confirm, the Eagles game was red tops, white pants.
See, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
so
thinking
it's the
of.
second time.
But this
They're
first time with
beautiful
pewter,
uniforms.
first time with pewter pants.
Yes.
Dude, those
Which-
are like
that's
our
the
best
original.
comp.
That's
Those
the
are our best.
combo.
Oh man, they were beautiful, man. Live in person, I was so happy they were wearing them. I was like, if I go to this Christmas Eve game and they don't have red jerseys, I'm gonna be fuming right now. And they had the best combo ever. It was it was beautiful.
I personally hate the red and white look.
I'm not a huge fan of it either. I'm not a huge fan. Like, you got to be really good to pull off a different color helmet, different color jersey, different color pants. Like, it has to be
It's
something
just too
iconic.
much.
It's hard. I like when the helmets and the pants match. That's my thing.
And I think when we're in pewter, we win. We
Yeah.
win. As simple as that.
I actually heard there might be there was a red jersey curse that might have been broken. I think we might have been losing a lot of our previous games in the red jerseys. So I think that might be a curse that got broken on Sunday. I think that might have happened.
sounds
I think
possible.
I saw some comments on Instagram about it. So maybe that's why we weren't wearing them. And now we can wear them all the time.
Wear them next week for sure. We'll get into that later. And then last week is an away game. Maybe the Panthers will wear something stupid.
I bet they go white.
Panthers are white lovers, so I can see that.
Oh no, I bet the Bucs go pewter white, which might be actually the worst combo.
I don't, anything with white pants, just throw the white pants away. All I want are pewter pants.
Exactly. Give me pewter for everything. Wear the all pewters at home.
Bring
for
back
once
the color
too.
rush jerseys.
Oh, those are pretty.
Those
good.
are sick.
Those are sick.
Those are sick. They didn't have great luck in them now.
No,
I don't
well,
think
they
they
were
ever-
just bad.
They
at
even
that
win
point.
in them.
They were just bad.
I think they might have won them once, but that might just be my optimistic.
They didn't
hope
lose. They didn't
talking.
win the ketchup mustard game though, right? They
No, they
definitely
did
did not
not.
win that
No.
game.
Classic. Thursday
Probably the
night
last
game.
time we played the Jags.
Yeah, back to the game, man. Back to the game. I love uniforms. That'll be a whole podcast, man. We'll talk about favorite uniforms, maybe even.
March
17th, we're coming.
That's
for
a
you.
February episode for sure.
I think the most heated thing will be us talking about ranking Tampa Bay uniforms.
Ooh, that's fun.
We argue about a lot, but that, man, That might get actually heated. We'll see. But the Bucs, they have a little bit of a trend going. It used to be opening drive punts. Now we're seeing some opening drive field goals, and the Bucs got the ball first, and they did exactly that. They drove right down the field and kicked a field goal. On the Jags' next drive, however, it is 3rd and 15 at the Tampa Bay 47. Jags trying to tie up the game, make something happen, but Trevor Lawrence, as he's rolling out, throws the ball up, and it's intercepted by who? Devin White.
Ride the
He's
horse.
back. He silenced all the haters on the first defensive drive of the game. The Bucs get the ball right back and would score a touchdown. Baker would run it in himself, and the Bucs are up 10-0 early in this game. The Jags, though, they're a good team. They like scoring points, and on their next drive, they would march down 11 plays and 41 yards, would go for the field goal. Brandon McManus would kick it. Is it in? Nope. He's overrated. I don't like
Windy
Brandon
day in
McManus.
Raymond James.
But he
Windy
stinks.
day in
He
Raymond
stinks.
James.
McManus stinks.
He couldn't handle the pressure or the wind or the crowd.
He couldn't handle anything.
Couldn't handle the crew.
And the Bucs would retain a 10-0 lead after the missed field goal. The Bucs would march down the field again. Could not punch it in the end zone, but they would add to their lead, going up 13-10. Money McLaughlin, man, he does not miss. Already had 2 field goals early. The Jags, however, on their next drive, down 13-0. You got to have something happen. And it's 2nd and 5 on the Jacksonville 41-yard line. Trevor Lawrence passing deep, and it's picked off. Antoine Winfield Jr. gives the ball right back to the Buccaneers. And there's only a minute and 34 seconds left in the first half, but Baker Mayfield goes 6 for 7, 70 yards down the field. Perfect 2-minute drill, and caps off a touchdown to none other than Mike Evans. Fire the cannons. The Bucs go into half up 20-0.
That was such a great job. Only 49 seconds. It's like you could
49
couldn't ask
seconds.
for more.
It was 13-0. You're like, all right, we really don't want the Jaguars to get a touchdown before half and grab the momentum back because they got the ball coming out of halftime. And not only did they prevent the touchdown, they added a touchdown.
They scored a touchdown.
Oh, it was
Beautiful
immaculate.
pass
Beautiful.
to Mike Evans.
Oh, a dime.
And we go into the second half. The Bucs are up 20-0. But we know sometimes when the Jags are down big, they're able to come back. And I think somebody said it. One of us said it. Somebody brought up the Chargers game. I got a little scared.
Oh, it's because me and my brother Luke, we went to the Jags-Chargers game. And that was the last time we'd seen the Jaguars live in person. And we're like, this is a little bit similar to that game, so I hope it doesn't go that way because we were obviously rooting for the Bucs this time. But it didn't. It didn't.
It didn't happen. And
we're not the Chargers. The Bucs aren't the Chargers. That's a
They'll
whole
never
different
be the
thing.
Chargers.
Never will be.
But the Jaguars, on their opening drive in the second half, they need something, a miracle, anything, some form of points. But on 1st and 10 at the Jacksonville 49, Trevor Lawrence, he's looking to pass, and he gets smoked by Yaya Diaby. And guess who else was there? Devin White. Yeah, he's making plays all over the field. Ball is out. It's recovered by the Bucs, and the Bucs have the ball in Jaguars territory to start the second half. And what do? They go down and score a touchdown. This time it was Rashad White running right up the middle for 2 yards. Gets a touchdown. The Bucs are up 27-0. What's going on? What is going on?
Gift of the day.
Definitely a Christmas
Wrap
gift.
that and put it under your tree.
Exactly. The Jags down 27-0. They need something to happen. They get to the Tampa Bay 40-yard line, but it's 4th and 13. They go for it and do not get it. Bucs get the ball right back, march down the field, and kick a field goal. It's 30-0.
Wow.
30-0. Pass the sticks. I don't know why they let this game keep going, but they did. The Jags, they finally got some momentum. I don't even know if most of the Bucs starters win. I know they had some on offense. It was a little controversial, but I disagree. Jaguars go down the field. They score a touchdown. Trevor Lawrence pass to Calvin Ridley, the big gambler guy, high stakes kind of guy. Go for 2 though. Don't get it. It's 30-6. The Bucs punt the ball away on their drive after the touchdown. And then the Jags, can they get another score? Are they getting hot? Are we seeing something happen again? No. What the? Never mind. Jags don't get anything. Bucs get the ball back. They're kind of cruising for the rest of the game. A couple punts, couple turnover on downs. We're partying already. The fans most of them probably left if they're Jacksonville fans.
And Bucs fans. It's Christmas Eve, man.
Yeah,
The game was
everybody's
out of
trying
hand.
to beat the traffic,
Yeah.
get home for Christmas Eve service.
It was nice how early in this game it was over.
Yeah,
It was very
awesome.
nice. Ori celebrating. The champagne was popped. Jags scored a touchdown late into the game with 5 minutes left in the fourth.
Chris Paul.
Yeah,
Cuts
to cut the lead to 18. Trevor Lawrence, though, was not on this drive. He was benched. You hear that, guys? He was benched. Didn't even finish the game. The Bucs roughed him out of there.
Yeah, he hurt his shoulder.
Yeah, that's saving face.
Yeah.
That's saving face.
Well,
he was
the
playing
Jags are
bad.
trying to kill their quarterback, man.
Yeah,
Making him play through an
he
ankle,
should be
concussion.
not playing this game.
He's
He didn't look right at any point.
no, it's true. He did not look great, and the Bucs defense didn't help him because they were all over him.
Yeah, they didn't make it easy. They didn't make it for C.J. Beathard either, the backup quarterback for the Jags. Man, another pass to Calvin Ridley for a touchdown. So he probably helped your fantasy team if you're in the playoffs, if you have him. He wears number 0 for 0 bets he's placed this year, so he doesn't get suspended again. Jags are down 30-12, and what do the Bucs need to do with 4 minutes left? Run the clock out, and they did exactly that. They didn't want to waste any time. They ran out the clock. Jags couldn't do anything. Demoralizing loss if you're a Jags fan or player, and the Bucs come away with a dominant 30-12 win to go 8-7 and now are in sole place of first in the NFC South. How are we feeling, guys? How are we feeling?
All right, I have to say something before we talk about anything. I just researched this on the fly. In this season, right now, Chase McLaughlin has made 15 field goals in a row. He is on a 15 field goal streak. So shout out Chase McLaughlin. Shout out the Bucs. Dominating win. That score was closer than the game even was. The Bucs dominated this game from the opening snap. Defensively, offensively, it did not matter. We thought last week was the best game of the Bucs season, and they just keep outdoing themselves week after week. So, I mean, this team's hot, man. This team is looking dangerous.
I mean, yeah, like Devin White had himself a game. Like Baker Mayfield had himself a game. Like all around, it was just a win. Like we won it. We won it early. We outcoached Jacksonville. Like it's what people say all the time. Are you getting right at the hot time? And the Bucs might be getting right at the hot time. I mean, getting hot. I'm excited. I was like, why does that not sound right? Getting hot at the right time. So who knows what this team could do going forward? We might be looking at something special.
Yeah.
That's what gets me the most excited, man, is you're getting to the end of the season. Are you going to be sprinting over the finish line or are you going to be crawling? And it looks like the Bucs are sprinting. This was definitely a must-win. Wasn't really a must-win for the playoffs, to stay in the playoff race. This was for you want a home playoff game. You're probably not going to beat anybody out for the third, second, or first seed, but you want a home playoff game. It doesn't matter. You needed to win this game. They're also fighting desperately for a home playoff game themselves in the AFC South on the other side of the bracket. So, man, I just cannot believe how well they played. I'm just so grateful. That was the best Christmas gift by far. Seeing the Bucs win.
Those are pretty sharp shoes, man.
They're sick.
Yeah, I mean, and seeing it live, man, you could just tell, man. And it was before the game. We got there pretty early because we coming from morning Christmas Eve service. We got some lunch. We got to the stadium with plenty of time. It was great. Traffic wasn't bad. It was all lovely in downtown Tampa, the suburbs, Raymond James Stadium on Dale Mabry. But I look over and I see the Bucs huddle, and I'm like, oh, they're getting hyped. I wonder who's breaking it down. You know who I see breaking it down? Devin White. And I'm like, wow. Me and Will were talking about we didn't know if he's going to play this season. We didn't know what the situation was.
I said he was done.
Yes, Will said he was done. I was like, I don't know. We obviously made our plea to not cut him because we didn't want him to have a legacy game against us in the playoffs. But we're talking, and it's just with how it went last week, you just don't know what's going to happen. And you really don't know how big the rift is between the players. We saw some interviews from Devin White saying, like, there's a lot of misconceptions. He didn't quit on anyone. And, I mean, he probably just wasn't healthy. And it's one of those things where it's like, with all the media coverage, with social media, I think we with sports, we learn more things than we ever have about teams and about players and coaches and their relationships. And, honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, this has probably happened thousands of times throughout the course of the NFL history. But we're just hearing about it because of social media. And you got some reports. It's on Instagram. We got people commenting hateful things to Devin White. And he blocked it all out. And this seems to be something that has kind of woke him up because this is the Devin White we know we can see, and when he's right, it's a whole different Bucs defense. It was something to watch, man.
I think he's getting to the point in this season where he's realizing, okay, I only got like 4 more games left to prove that I'm worthy of a contract, and on Sunday he showed it to us. Are we going to be the team to play him? We'll pay him. We'll see. But this was a wake-up game from him. Let's hope that he builds upon it because it could take us on a deep run in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think, you can claim to be the best media group. You can claim to have all the inside scoops on everything. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you are. You don't know. You don't truly know what's going on inside that locker room unless you're on the team. And I think what you were mentioning, Colby, I mean, just the hate this guy got, and 100% of it was started by the media, a certain media group. We're not going to say the name. Maybe it might come out, but it's probably a tickle in my throat.
Yeah. Me too. I got that tickle.
And I just think, yeah, they thought they were so right on this, and they thought that there was all this drama, and you want to divide the team. And first off, that should never come from the home team's media. I look at these guys, and I sometimes think they're Saints, the Saints media group, or Panthers insiders, or Falcons insiders, the way they talk. It's just so negative. And I think, 1, they deserve Devin White apology, and 2, I think this guy has been banged up. Like you said, he's been banged up. He's played through a lot of injuries. Not saying he should have. Not saying he should have put his body out there, probably got worse as the season's gone on. But I think we finally just seen this guy healthy again. I don't know if we've seen him healthy in 2 years. I really don't.
Yeah.
And I think you got to give him credit. You got to trust what the team is doing in the locker room, what the front office is doing, because these media guys are going to steer you in the wrong path. Trust the process. These guys are going to get it done. And when he's healthy, he's good to go. And I'm glad I was wrong. But what did I do? I listened to the media, how there was this big drama between Todd Bowles and Devin White, and he's a locker room cancer. Well, maybe he still is, but he's sure playing his tail off, and he deserves to be commended for that.
Whether he's playing for the team or whether he's playing for the money, if he's playing good, I'll take it. It's not coming out of my paycheck. Like, if he wants to play this good, I would take him back. I'd take him back next year.
And he's such a game-changing player for the Bucs. I mean, we saw it in the 2020 Super Bowl run. I mean, in my opinion, Devin White was the best player for the Bucs during that run. I know Tom Brady got the love, and he deserves it, but, I mean, the defense really carried the team, and Devin White carried that defense. He was amazing. And, I mean, to me, Devin White's a lot like the Brandon Lau of the Bucs. He can really be inconsistent, but his highs are so high that he can change the whole complexion of the team. And we saw those highs. I mean, the defense hasn't looked that good. I mean, at least since the last Saints game. I mean, and this is a much better offense. That is an explosive offense. I mean, I don't know what Trevor Lawrence was at percentage-wise of his health, but that's still an explosive offense with a bunch of threats. I mean, Evan Ingram, Calvin Ridley, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, ETN. I mean, all these people. That's what they are. They are explosive offense.
They're a playoff team.
They are a playoff team. They were a playoff team last year, and they we thought they were a bona fide playoff team this year. They're struggling, but this was a dominating performance by the Bucs defense. I mean, I think we could get right. We can get into it, man. I want to talk about this defense because
you gotta say Devin White's grade, man. His PFF grade.
Oh,
We're still
Devin
talking
White's
about him.
PFF grade. I saw it on Instagram, so I'll do it. I posted it on the Instagram. Devin White was the highest graded linebacker this week in the NFL with a 92.7 on PFF. Just
wow,
fantastic. Fantastic, man.
Yeah,
we haven't seen grades like that for the Bucs. The only guy we've seen have put up a grade like that is Takeaway Tweez, Antoine Winfield. So, I mean, we have a bunch of dogs on defense. But now, I mean, if we get peak Antoine Winfield, peak Devin White, these can be people that are the best players at their position any given Sunday in the whole NFL. Not in the NFC South, not in the NFC, the whole NFL. I mean, the Bucs look scary, man. And that's not something I would have thought I could say, honestly. The Bucs look scary right now.
Yeah.
You heard me on this show 3 weeks ago.
It's true.
You wanted to call.
I'm
Call
looking
it
for
a day.
heads.
I mean, but there was no reason not to, because even if the Bucs, I think there was never a point. I was always like, the Bucs might make the playoffs, they might not. There was never a point where I felt like the Bucs could go on a run until these last 2 weeks. This is a whole different Bucs team, and like we talked about this last week, they went through all these close losses, all these heartbreaking, dramatic finishes that they were just on the other end of, and they just kept fighting, man. The Bucs have not quit, and these experiences have made them a better team, and that has to speak to the players in the locker room and the coaching staff, who's done a tremendous job in this 4-game winning streak, top to bottom. I mean, Dave Canales has been calling great games, and Todd Bowles been making good decisions, man. He figured out that he can go for it on 4th down, and now he's addicted. Now he's addicted to going for it on 4th down, and it's working.
Using timeouts,
Yes.
it's going great.
He's doing great. He's doing a great job, and I think
because
There's actually a stat on that, though. He leads the NFL on going for it on 4th down when he should go for it per the analytics.
there you go.
He's at like 90-something%, and Mike McCarthy is the only coach close to that. So when the analytics say to go, he's going for it literally almost every time.
There you go, man.
Do you think part of the reason why Todd Bowles is doing better right now is because he's giving the offensive coordinator a longer leash? I think I've noticed that a little bit in the last few weeks.
I think it's more. I don't know about leash,
He's
but
putting more of a focus on defense, and I think he's giving more of it to the offensive coordinator.
yeah, and I think whatever's happened, the
It's
last
working.
2 games Dave Canales has called have been exquisite. They've been amazing offensive game plans. I don't know if it's him kind of getting more on the same page with Baker and the rest of his coaching staff and the players, if it's Todd Bowles kind of taking his foot off the thing or his hand off the offense, like totally. I don't know what it is, but they've been amazing.
Yeah, well, per the inside report of the Buccaneers today, this is December 26th, Dave Canales was on there getting interviewed by Kelsey Phillips. And I think one of the biggest things that he said himself is this guy's a first-year coordinator. Mm-hmm. He hasn't been an offensive coordinator before, if you haven't known. Yeah, so this is his first time calling plays, making the script, game planning at a higher level. And I think one thing he says that it took him a while to make the right adjustments. And I think we've finally seen him figure it out how to make adjustments. I think the biggest thing you can see that is how to make Rachaad White effective in the run game. I think that was the biggest change because you make the offense so much more dynamic. They were so one-dimensional at the beginning of the year, and now that you've opened up both aspects of your offense, he even said it himself. He's like, most teams we played against at the beginning of the year were literally taking away Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. They were struggling. But now these teams are having to load guys in the box to prepare for a rushing attack because it's been so dangerous the past couple weeks. So I think it's just been tweaking the adjustments, finding out what works, and I think we're finally seeing that. And this guy, man, better lock him down quick because if the offense keeps playing like that, we're going to be losing him in Tampa Bay. He's going to be a head coach.
True.
But yeah, I think that's one of the biggest reasons is making adjustments. He's finally figured it out. Again, that's why I haven't been super hard on him because he is a first-year guy. He is a first-year guy. But if he's doing this already, man, coming up with great play calling, games. I mean, I'm excited for the future.
All right, man. What are we doing? Defense or offense first?
I think let's stick with the offense.
All right, let's
we
stick
start
with the offense.
Start with Big
Yes.
Dave.
Yeah.
Also,
Big Dave.
he seems like a good guy. Like really good guy, man.
He does. He's just my nice guy. The Bucs, I mean, first 6 drives of the game, not including the one-play drive at the end of the half where they took a knee, they scored on all their first 6 drives of the games, field goals and touchdowns. So they got a little stagnant at the end, but it's hard not to get stagnant when you're blowing a team out. So great job by the Bucs offense. Like we said, great game plan from Dave Canales. And this was another really great Baker Mayfield game, man. He was 26 for 35 with 286 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 turnovers, and a 116.7 passer rating. So another really great game for Baker Mayfield. And, man, it's fun to see him hot, man. It's fun to see when Baker's hot.
I completely agree.
He just carries himself, and it's just like it's fun. It's like, yeah, Baker's having fun out there. He ain't mad. He's having fun.
Yeah.
Because he does everything the right way, and he's such a warrior, man. I love saying that word about him because just he makes the right throws. He's protecting the football, and he'll stick his head in the ground and run when he has to.
Oh man, some of those runs and escapes he
Oh,
had
man.
were amazing. He is a strong guy.
They
People
couldn't
don't
get him down. They couldn't bring him down at all.
They could not get him down. He got sacked twice, but he could have gotten sacked 4 or 5 times, and he was breaking out of stuff. And I mean, big runs, lowering the shoulder. Are you kidding me? And they're trying to get in the goal line. I mean, that was, man, he's a dog, man. And I think Baker, the biggest thing for him the last couple weeks is he's found the balance between being a confident thrower, being Baker, and also taking care of the football. He's not – I think we've seen times where he's gotten way too gunslinger and he's fit balls in the windows they should have never gone in, thrown interceptions, had drop interceptions. But we've also seen times where Baker's looked very timid. He's pump faking, he's hesitating on throws, and it turns out he gets sacked or the ball gets batted down or it's incomplete way too late. And I think this balance of him – he's rifling throws in there. I mean, the second touchdown to Mike Evans was a dime in double coverage, perfectly thrown. He's ripping the ball in there, but that was a smart throw. I mean, that's a smart throw, and he's finding that balance between not being reckless with the football, but also being confident in being Baker Mayfield. So, I mean, he's in a groove.
I think, too, I think part of that may also be Todd Bowles' coming to the realization of, okay, we're not going to be able to win this game defensively. So it's okay if Baker's thrown a little bit more. He might throw an interception, but we're putting points on the board when we do that. And last week we got 29 points. This week we get 30 points. Baker's throwing the ball, and it's working. We're putting points on the board. We're not putting up 14. We're putting up 29, 30, and that's going to win you a ball game.
34 and Packers, too. 29, 34, 30. In the last 3 games.
Yeah, and you think, I mean, the defense...
That's going to win you a game.
That's going to win you games.
The defense is certainly helping that, though. I mean, +4 in the turnover margin, a couple interceptions, a couple fumble recoveries. I mean, the Bucs defense totally set up the offense to succeed. I think it was such a complete game. We'll get to the defense more specifically, but I think, yeah, you got to give credit to the defense because they set up a lot of those Bucs scoring opportunities. Yeah, I think, again, to go at that second touchdown throw, he threw it into double coverage, but I think the difference is he put it in a spot where only Mike Evans could get that ball. And I think that's the biggest improvement I've seen is he's just making just the right throws, putting the right touch on the ball. We've seen him and Mike miss it earlier in the season, couldn't get on the same page. Definitely couldn't get on the same page with Chris Godwin, and now he's tearing it up. I had him on fantasy, man, because he's going off. But, yeah, I can't say enough about Baker Mayfield. And me personally, dude, put him in the MVP conversation.
Hey,
put him in the MVP conversation, man. He's having a better season than Brady did last year. He's having a better season than Pat Mahomes.
More touchdowns, less interceptions than the NFL's golden child. But you won't hear about that from the media.
Brock Purdy's fraudulent.
He didn't look good the other night.
Yeah,
He did not.
He did not.
And Lamar Jackson, I love him. But, man, there's something about Baker.
No.
There's something
Baker's
about Baker
great,
Mayfield.
man. Bring him back. Give him the proper money he deserves because he
He's getting more expensive by the day,
but
so you might want to lock him up soon.
He deserves it, man.
And when he gets that Super Bowl ring at the end of the season,
he could be he truly could be the next Bucs quarterback for time. He's still young. He's playing good. He's got a young offensive coordinator that he can grow with, and Dave Canales, man. This could be our guy, man. And it's awesome because it was a cheap, low risk investment at the start of the season, and it's turning out to be something that could be great for this organization.
I know, and I think that's the worst part about it is like, I liked Baker Mayfield. I didn't really like him so much at Oklahoma, but I certainly liked him on the Browns. And you think, I don't get why the narrative switched so hard on him, because he goes to the Browns. He makes them relevant for the first time in 40 years, wins them a playoff game.
It's crazy. And it makes no sense.
Exactly. And then, okay, he gets a little banged up in 2021. But the Browns also get greedy and throw money at the massage king, Deshaun Watson. And then he goes to the Panthers. And that's the worst run organization in the league.
True.
And they fired their coach. And at that point, everybody wrote Baker off, called him a cancer. He got benched.
I know.
This and that. And then he goes to the Rams and plays good in a good system with a good head coach. And then none of it was... Baker got no credit at all. No credit at all for doing anything in Los Angeles, and was completely wrote off. And everybody was saying, again, with Baker Mayfield, the Bucs are going 2-15 this year. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. This guy can play. He really can. And he's going to give you his all week in and week out. So I'm begging you, Bucs.
Yeah.
Sign this guy.
Well, it's You got it.
It's the system that the Bucs have had for the last 25 years plus. We've seen guys like I always forget it's Brad or Brian, but Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson comes in. He's an older guy. He wins us the Super Bowl. And then after that, we have quarterbacks like Brian Greasy and Jeff Garcia come in. That's kind of the system that we operate under. We bring in that older guy, that guy that's kind of in the middle of the pack, but in the right systems, in the right organization, he can give you just enough to win. So for Baker Mayfield, this is the place where he would want to be because we can pull the best out of him, and he'll put just enough on the field. We won't throw too many interceptions, but he'll keep us in games and he'll win us games. So I would keep him around. Like, he is the character that I want in this locker room.
Yeah, and to go on what Will's saying, Baker Mayfield, the more I think about it, he was treated so wrong, man. 2020, he leads the Browns to the playoffs, has a great season. His numbers, we're saying he has a great season now. His numbers were comparable to this season in 2020. So, great season, probably a game or two less because I know they had a bunch of cancellations. And it was 16 back then. I don't know.
It was something. But
it was something, yeah.
Regardless, they still had a great record. They were one of the best teams in the NFL that year.
Yes, and they almost knocked out the Chiefs in the second round. But my point here is he's 2022. He gets his shoulder hurt early in the season.
21.
Yeah, 21, my bad. 21, he gets his shoulder hurt early in the season. And he still gives you everything he possibly has and plays through it the whole year. He got his shoulder hurt it was like week 2. It was early in the season, and he played through it the whole entire year. And for some reason, people are just acting like he's trash when he was playing hurt. And he just showed you that he's a good quarterback the year before and in his rookie year. And then you ship him off to the Panthers, and like Will said, he was fighting Sam Darnold, who sucks the whole time. And there's no reason. They never gave Baker Mayfield the keys to the offense. They never give Baker Mayfield their full trust in Carolina. And, they ended up shipping him away, and he's always been the scapegoat for poverty franchises. I know the Browns are having a good season right now, but they're a poverty franchise.
But they're having a good season because of Joe Flacco
my goodness.
From the Baltimore Ravens.
Hey, that's another character, Joe Flacco.
This is awesome.
But they're paying Deshaun Watson to not play on the field and get a bunch of massages in his free time.
But that's what
Joe
I'm saying.
Flacco does just enough to where you can win.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a great point.
Yeah.
I was even going to bring him up, too. You beat me to it. But there's one guy, I wouldn't say he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he won a Super Bowl with the Ravens because he just did enough. That was the
Monday night game rematch the other night. I was thinking about that. Ravens, 49ers.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, Joe Flacco just did enough, and with a good defense, the Ravens won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Baker Mayfield got off the plane on a Tuesday on the trade deadline and played Thursday night and beat the Raiders.
Yeah, that was crazy. And it's just like he was a scapegoat for the Browns. He was a scapegoat for the Panthers. And they haven't gotten any better since he left, man. The Browns were bad last year. They got a legendary quarterback and a great defense and some crazy lucky games early on in the season. And the Carolina Panthers still suck. So he's been the scapegoat, and he comes here, and, we were part of it. We all wanted Kyle Trask. But Todd Bowles, Dave Canales, the whole coaching staff, they gave Baker Mayfield the full trust. And that's all Baker needed, man. Baker just needed some trust and the love from the city and organization. And he's delivering. And it's so awesome to see, man. I hope he stays. I hope we can find a good price range because it's a perfect fit, man. Tampa loves Baker. I guarantee it. Everyone loves Baker because he gives it his all. Every single Sunday, he's a warrior. We say it every week. He is a warrior, man. There's not other quarterbacks that are just lowering their head in there, hanging in there. There's not quarterbacks that are playing through injury for a full season just to get replaced. It's just like he's been through so much, and I think it's made him such a better leader, a better person, and a better player, man. So it's so awesome to see what Baker's doing, and I'm just excited to see what he does next, man, because that's how good he's playing.
It just works in our system. I was thinking about some other names. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Magic, and then Tom Brady, of course. So these older veteran quarterbacks work well when they're playing with the Bucs. So let's keep the train going. I want Baker Mayfield around for a couple more years. And you think
he's a veteran quarterback, but he's still young, man. You can grow with Baker Mayfield. Like, obviously, he's been playing for a while. He's been playing since his rookie year, so he's a grizzled veteran in terms of playing experience, but he's still a young player. I think he's 26.
He's 28.
28. That's
28.
He's got years of his prime left.
He's got 10 years left.
The way you can't hit quarterbacks now. He's got 10, like you said, 10 years left. It could go right. This has got to be the Bucs. They have it right there. They have a franchise quarterback right in front of them, and it's a crazy thing to say. I didn't think I'd be saying this at the beginning of the year. But they do. They have a franchise quarterback, a quarterback that fits the city, the organization so well right in front of them. They got it. They got to lock them down, man. They really do.
Yeah, I will be very, very disappointed, and I will be at One Buck Place protesting that Jason Light gets fired if they do one of two things.
There's mutual interest, too. That's been said.
Exactly,
Bucs and Baker wants to come back.
But I will definitely protest if they, one, do not sign him, or two, sign him to another, not a great deal, maybe 1 or 2 years, and draft a quarterback first round. No, I will be furious. I will call for your head, Jason Light. I will.
The quarterback pool's not as deep as it was at the beginning of the season, like we've been saying. So I think this works out. I don't think they'll go quarterback in the first.
You're not going to get the only quarterback I would take is Caleb Williams. You're not getting him. No. Do not waste your pick on Bo Nix. Please. Don't do it.
Yeah, I think, man, like 3 years, $60 million, that's perfect. I don't know if you can get a quarterback for $20 million, but that would be perfect. 3 years. 3 years is a great time. You can extend him again if he keeps playing like this a year or two into the contract. But, I mean, yeah.
And he's the character I want to be mentoring in the next quarterback.
Exactly, man.
He's a Rays fan, too.
Yeah,
he was rooting for the Rays.
Yeah, he is.
That was like one of the first things he did when he got to Tampa.
And that's why we love him. I bet he's a Lightning fan, too. Oh, man. But, yeah, back to the game.
He'll be there. He'll be at Amalie firing the crowd up.
Yeah, he will, man.
Dude, that's it. I'm getting a Baker jersey. I'm doing it.
You've been hyping me up the whole show.
I'm getting a Baker Mayfield jersey right now.
Number 6 is a beautiful number. It's awesome.
Speaking of that, I saw some video of some kid. He got a Yaya Diaby jersey for Christmas. I was like, man, that's actually fun. I'm jealous. That's the other jersey I need to get is a Yaya Diaby.
We got to roll back in this game.
Yeah, keep going.
All right, so rushing game, this game. Definitely still complimentary, not the best running game. The Bucs went for 70 yards, 1.9 yard per carry, but it still felt effective, man. There was a lot of runs at the end of the game where they were just running out the clock. Jaguars were run blitzing. We knew what was happening. So that kind of taints the stats a little bit. But it was still an effective run game that complemented the pass game. And that's all we need from this rushing attack. It might have some games where it kind of goes off, and it might have some games where it's like this, where it's just a complimentary. But it's not like early in the season where the Bucs were not one-dimensional on Sunday. Rashad White was solid. Chase Edmonds, man, we miss him when he was gone. And you don't realize how much you miss him. But Chase Edmonds is such a solid back for the Bucs. He had a really solid game on Sunday. And yeah, complimentary rush game is what I'd say about it.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. It wasn't like the rushing game just wasn't there at all. I mean, the pass game was just so effective. It was so effective against the Jags.
And they were working with short fields too, so you can't get as many yards.
And then when you really needed the rushing game to step up when they were trying to run some clock in the second half, it was working. They were getting big gains. So, yeah, I'm not worried at all. We're totally fine. And look, if something's working, you got to do it. You just do it till you can't anymore. If a run game's working, you run the ball till you can't. If the pass game's working, you throw until your arm falls off. So, yeah, I'm not worried about that at all.
And then another thing, we got to talk about Mike Evans. One of his best games in recent weeks. He ended up with 2 touchdowns, 7 receptions, 86 yards. I mean, great game, man. And Mike is consistent. He was running good routes. They were getting him the ball in the intermediate passing game, some slants and some crossers and stuff like that, which was great, awesome to look at and see. I mean, I think they did a better job of getting Mike involved early in this game as opposed to like the Falcons game. And he struggled last. Well, he didn't struggle last week, but it was the Chris Godwin show last week in Lambeau. So they got Mike Evans involved early and often, which was good to see. And another thing Canales is doing right, man. He's getting everyone involved.
Everyone's getting fed.
Yeah, I think that really sums it up for the offense.
Well, also, Trey Palmer, 4 catches, 42 yards.
Yeah, he got the first pass of the game, didn't he?
First two.
First two, yeah.
Trey Palmer, that was probably his best game of the season, honestly. He's looking good. Get him hot, man.
If I remember, was he cut recently?
No. But
what was that guy's name?
I don't know.
That doesn't matter.
But there were some people asking for David Moore to take his spot, which, speaking of David Moore, I love him, all right? David Moore had a catch in this game. He had an onside kick recovery, and he had a tackle on special teams to down someone inside the 10 or 20. David Moore is the role player of the year for the Bucs. Me and Luke were at the game. We were like, is that a David Moore reference? That's our joke now. David Moore sighting, David Moore reference. So when you guys see number 19, 17? 19, I think. When you see number 19 on your screen, you're like, that's a David Moore reference, all right? But I love David Moore, the energy he's been playing with. Bucs, before we go to defense.
I'm thinking of Cade Warner.
Cade Warner. Oh, yeah,
That's the guy. That
Kurt Warner's son back in the day.
Rest in
peace. Rest in pepperoni. Bucs 10 of 19 on third down. Would like to see less third downs, but they were all manageable, like we've talked about. So they were doing a great job converting, great throws, runs from Baker, and 1 of 2 on fourth down. Loved that fourth down play, by the way. That little flip to Rashad White in the red zone. Loved that play call. Loved it,
dude. I wish I could. I'm actually gonna go through it here because you brought up third down, man, and like, especially on their first couple drives. I mean, third and longs were nothing to them. They were nothing.
A bunch of 3rd and 7s.
They were just completing them.
Yeah.
3rd and 5 on the first drive.
Yeah, that's true. They were doing great on third down, and I mean, it was Trey Palmer got a big conversion to start the game.
3rd and 6 on the
Chris
second
Godwin,
drive.
Yeah, all of these people. Yeah, they were. Baker was nails on third down, man. That's one place where he excels, and the Bucs need it, man. Third down is where football games are won or lost, and the Bucs won on third down this game. That's why they won dominantly.
And they made it look easy. They made it look easy too. That's a big thing.
This game kept my attention. Like, sometimes I'll be watching a Bucs game and it's like, I'm gonna go do this. But this one, I was like, ooh, I gotta keep watching.
They're playing great
I ain't
football.
turning this off.
Dude, it was. And then we were cooking, for Christmas Day. Family's getting stuff ready, and ran out of something. So I had to go to the store, and I missed like a little bit of third quarter, which I was really mad about. But
you got to set up your phone in one of those baskets.
Well, no, I did.
Yeah,
okay. But it was spotty. The Publix at Cal DC Island was spotty.
Brutal.
But I got to listen to Gene the Machine's voice.
Oh, yeah.
It's soothing.
He's man.
I wish he could read me like a bedtime story.
Yeah, send him out with a Super Bowl because he's getting old. Let's just win a Super Bowl and he can retire. That would be awesome.
The sunset.
That would be awesome. But yeah,
that would make my day.
I want to talk about defense right now. We got to talk about the defense. Let's just give you some broad stats on the day. 4 sacks for the Bucs defense, 5 tackles for loss, 2 fumbles forced, 2 interceptions. I mean, these guys, best defensive game of the year against a really good offense. And, I mean, Joel, what stuck out to you about the defense?
I mean, that's how you keep a team off the board. You don't even let them get field goals. You're like, we're just going to take the ball from you. Nope, no field goal. We're taking the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it was domination by the defense.
Yeah, and I think it starts with the best they've played all year as a unit is the defensive line and the pass rush. Their QB pressures were at over 20. I lost count, but it was at least over 20 times Trevor Lawrence had somebody in his face or was getting chased. I mean, that's unreal. That's unreal, and it makes life so much easier for your secondary. You like seeing Antoine getting picks. You like seeing Devin White get picks. You gotta keep that pressure going, and you gotta have it be effective. And I think defensive line, A++ for how well they played. And I want to get to them.
The man himself.
There should be a defensive rookie of the year for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that is Yaya Diaby.
He was all over the place. I mean, a sack and a half, one that forced a fumble, a huge tackle for loss. I mean, not just your little 1 yard loss. This was like a 12-yard loss in Bucs territory to knock the Jaguars out of field goal range, make them miss that ensuing field goal. And it was a beautiful tackle on a double reverse, great tackling, great pressure all around. You could feel Yaya Diaby's presence. I all the way up in the bleeds where I was sitting, I knew it was Yaya Diaby all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's such a huge guy. He's a monster out there. But he leads the NFL amongst rookies with 6.5 sacks. He's tied with this guy, Kobe Turner from the Rams. But I think Yaya's better. And, I mean, I'm looking at this list of who he's in front of as far as these rookies. You're looking at Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, B.J. Ojolari. I mean, some of those guys were first-round picks. And Yaya Diaby is doing better than they are. And what a steal the Bucs got. I mean, I can't believe this guy was a third-round pick. I cannot believe it. I mean, he is having a year. I really think he deserves to be Defensive Rookie of the Year in the NFL. He deserves it.
And if it's not a popularity contest, he could very well get it.
I hope it's not, because the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. But another rookie, too, Kalijah Kancey, who's a Bucs first-round pick, he's having a great year. He's number 2 with tackles for loss.
Yeah.
As far as NFL rookies. So both those guys are playing phenomenal.
Yeah, and Kalijah has improved immensely in the run game. He's doing a great job.
And I'd say that was
in
his
the run
weakest game. That was weakest part of his game.
Weakest part of his game, and he is doing
It's turned into his
great job.
best.
It really has been. And he's getting pressure on the quarterback, too. Like, a lot of those pressures were interior force from Vita Vea and Kalijah Kancey. So Trevor Lawrence wasn't able to step in the throws a lot of times, and that's when you see those overthrows that Antoine Winfield gets an interception from. That's because Trevor Lawrence can't step into his throw because he's got pressure right in his face.
Trevor Lawrence never got comfortable in this game. That was big.
Well, I think that was the biggest thing in the Bucs. This is why I'm so proud of this defensive unit, especially the D-line. We talked about it. He has a concussion. He has a couple of other injuries. Make it a living hell for him out there. That's exactly what they needed to do, and they did it. Did it way better than they even needed to. Mm-hmm. And that's how you win football games, man. Starts up front. A+ for all of them.
Yeah.
A+.
And then, I mean, what else they did was they made the Jags one-dimensional. The Jags only ran for 37 yards. They have an elite running back in Travis Etienne. And the Bucs made them one-dimensional. And you have a quarterback that's injured. The Jags probably wanted nothing more than to establish the run game on Sunday so Trevor Lawrence didn't have to do too much. That didn't happen. The run game was stuffed from the get-go, and it caused these third and longs where that's where the turnovers happen. When quarterbacks have to force the ball downfield, that's when turnovers happen. The defensive line was making plays. The linebackers were amazing. We already talked about Devin White, but I'll give you a stat line. He had 4 tackles, a half a sack, a forced fumble, an interception. He had 2 quarterback hits. He was all over the place. And then Levante David, man. This guy never ceases to amaze me, man. 8 tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss, and a quarterback hit for Levante. Back to the best linebacker duo in the league, I guess. I'm afraid.
Yeah, I don't understand. I know he's had a couple games where he's injured. I don't understand. Where's the national media talking about Levante David? Because I mean, he's good, but he's having one of his best seasons ever, and one of the best seasons out of any linebacker in the NFL. Why is nobody talking about this man? I mean, he's going crazy, and he's playing better. I really thought this was going to be a down year for him. I thought we'd start to see him slow down, but he's playing better than he has been. Can't give him enough credit.
I wonder if this is like a little flash in the pan, or if like he could have kind of a nice little agent like wine phase in his career right here toward the end.
We need it.
Well, I just think he has such high football IQ that if his athleticism stays, average to good, he's such a football savant. And he knows where the play's going that he's going to be effective for a long time. If he can keep his body in shape and keeps some of that athleticism, I know he's obviously not going to have the same step he used to. But if he can keep it to a reasonable level, his football IQ, with all these years he's played being, a highly touted linebacker, it's going to carry him to, at least a few more good years in his career.
Yeah, he hasn't slowed down a bit.
No, I agree, man. He looks even better because, I don't know, maybe slowing down the step has helped him, not over pursue, make better tackles, have an extra second to read the quarterback. He still has stone hands. It was good to see a linebacker make an interception because our linebackers usually have stone hands, but Devin White made a reaching interception, so that was refreshing to see.
He's changing the culture, man.
Yeah.
Hopefully we keep Levante David around. He's a free agent after the season, and if he demands a lot of money, I don't know.
I think they'll sign him for another 1 year deal.
Yeah,
I don't know, but maybe he goes out on top. Maybe that's just what he wants to do. He's going out on top.
Maybe.
So.
Derek Brooks wanted to come back, but he went on top too. So maybe he'll follow along in the same way as some of the greats. If you don't give me enough money, I'm just going to go home. So we'll see.
We will see. And then another guy that from my bleed seats in Raymond James Stadium, where you could still see, by the way, if you're ever wanting to go to Raymond James and you're like, oh, I only really can afford these upper seats, you can see great the field up there. There's nothing wrong with being up there at a football game. You can see everything in Raymond James. I love the stadium.
You might be able to sneak your way down toward the front of the.
You maybe just don't go in on the wrong side because you can't walk all the way through and you have to go back down. I did that on Sunday. Happens to the best of us. But another guy that flashed off the field to me was Christian Eisen, man. Just had an absolutely great game. He had 6 tackles. He forced a fumble, and he played fantastic coverage all night long. He was there for so many incompletions. He was there to clean up people's messes. He was everywhere, man. This was one of his better games, and he's had a lot of great ones. But this was a great game for Christian Eisen. He was the best player in the secondary by far.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. It's crazy to see how well he's played for an undrafted rookie. You'll see guys like that. They might play good. They might get some reps. This guy is one of the most valuable players we have on defense.
It's true.
And you can
From
put him
week
in,
one.
Yeah, exactly. You can put him in a lot of places, and he's going to do a great job. He's so versatile in the run and pass game, and I just cannot believe we have him. This guy's going to be a star. He's going to be a star in the NFL, and I'm just happy to see the growth because he's getting better, and it might just be, like you said, a flash in the pan sometimes. I thought that might be him, but he's getting better. He's getting better, and he's consistent. And I think he'd be the biggest blow if we lost anybody at this point.
Maybe.
He may be looking for some money, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, he's a rookie. We got him for a while. He's a rookie.
Hey, maybe a trade up, get some value out of him. I don't know. But another gold star for Jason Light to find him, find the undrafted.
And Todd Bowles.
Todd Bowles handpicked him.
Maybe that'll save his job. Maybe the seat's cooling down a little bit.
I think Todd Bowles has saved his job.
I think his seat has cooled down a good bit.
And then, we look at, we already said Jags ran for 37 yards. Another key for this Bucs defense as a group was they held the Jags to 3 for 9 on 3rd down and 1 for 3 on 4th down. So they were coming up with huge plays on huge downs. Like we said, the Bucs were over 50% on 3rd down, and the Jags were under 40%, 33% to be exact. So, you could see that discrepancy is why the Bucs dominated. Also, the turnovers. The turnovers, just craziness from the Bucs defense turnover-wise.
Mm-hmm. I think, 3rd downs are so important because that was one of their biggest issues earlier in the year. And again, I love being where we're at, talking about some of these things because they were a noticeable problem towards the beginning of the year, but they've corrected them. third downs were huge. They could not get off the field to save their lives. And now they're shutting down high-powered offense on third down just about every single time. Especially fourth down, too, man.
Yeah. Drop pick by Zion McCollum on a fourth down. But we'll forgive it because it was good coverage.
Get these guys on the jug machines.
Get them on the jugs, man. These guys got to learn how to catch on defense.
That's a thing.
Hey,
Catching.
if you want to pad your stats and get an interception.
Well, yeah, I've just seen it's like
the jug machine is the one you put the football in and it like shoots.
Out.
Yeah,
I'm thinking like gallon jugs. We catching gallon jugs.
I heard the way you said that and I was like, I think I need to.
I was waiting for it. I'm like,
but no, it's like, I mean, there's always that joke like, oh, that's why he plays on defense. He can't catch. But even though, like, I mean, there's so many miraculous interceptions.
It's your full-time job
and
you
stuff every
catch
year.
A little bit.
Yeah, but like this year for the Bucs has been like,
oh, it's been crazy.
It's been pretty bad how many interceptions they've dropped, and it's like all of them. So yeah, you gotta do that. That's the next step is locking in these picks, because they would have probably like 10 extra on the season if they didn't drop any.
You gotta start wearing the sticky gloves.
Yep. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, and then obviously have some injury concern for Winfield and more for Davis because he left earlier. Don't know if there's any updates on them.
I think they said Winfield will be fine.
Yeah, I think Winfield was more precautionary, but obviously Davis, he was woozy. I saw him.
He's concussed,
which stinks. It was like, wow, we got our whole defense healthy. This is awesome. Nope, not anymore, guys. But, I mean, Davis is someone we can replace. Winfield is not. But, yeah, it was good to see the defense majority healthy. Jamel Dean played good again. Ryan Neal was out there making some good plays. I didn't notice him do any busted from him.
That's a good sign.
His play time dropped like crazy.
No, I know. Well, he's also coming back from injury, too. D. Delaney made some really nice plays, too.
I was looking at, like, the play log, and he had, like, 7 snaps. So, like, his play time dropped significantly.
Yeah. Hey, man, got to do what you got to do, man. And that's.
But if he's out there making plays, we'll take it.
Yeah, hey, he's playing with energy,
I still think he deserves a little bit more PT after playing linebacker.
Maybe we'll give him 12 snaps next week.
Yeah, that seems like a good area for him. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, that's that game, man. It was a dominating performance. But the Bucs still have work to do on this season, and it starts this week. The Bucs can clinch the NFC South with a win this week at home against a team they've already beaten this season, the New Orleans Saints, a bitter rival of ours, a team that I personally hate with all my heart. And this is a big game for both teams. The Saints are a fringe playoff team fighting for their lives. The Bucs control their own destiny, but you want to get it done now. You want to get it done this week. You don't want to wait and have something crazy happen in Charlotte. So, big game.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The Bucs control their own destiny, and all they have to do, ladies and gentlemen who are listening, is just win one out of the next 2 games to get to the postseason. But you want to do it now. You want to do it now. Make it easy for yourselves. And this Saints team, I said last week, we had to root for them to lose against the Rams. I hope you guys are watching. That was on Prime, and they did exactly that.
If you watched the USF Bowl game, it's okay, though.
Yeah, I was watching both. I was watching both.
Will was watching
But I'd say this team is falling apart. I'd say a lot of people on that team have turned their backs to Derek Carr. The fans want him out of there. Dennis Allen, I don't know if he has his job next year.
I don't think so.
I don't know if he's safe at all. This team is crumbling. They're falling. It's time to put them to sleep. It's time to put their season in 2023 to an end. Finish the story for them. Derek Carr, he's not the answer. They should have played Jameis this whole time. But yeah, I mean, I think, and you've already beaten this team, and that was when I say the Saints are at their best, is you completely shut them down. And now you're hot. Your team is playing great. You got them at home. You got to get it done. Mm-hmm. You got to get it done.
Yeah, and I think, what was I going to say? Oh, the Saints have also, they're only 1 game back with the Bucs, but they've played a much easier schedule than the Bucs. They didn't have to play the 49ers. They didn't have to play I don't think they had to play the Eagles either.
No,
So
that's because we placed first last
That's
year,
what
so
I'm
we
saying.
played all the first seeds
That's
from
what I'm saying.
the
The
NFC.
Saints are in it, but they played a much weaker schedule than the Bucs. If the Bucs played the Saints schedule, they might be 5 or 6 losses right now, honestly.
They lost to the Packers.
Yeah. This is a game, even though the
They
records
lost to
are
the
similar,
Jags.
the Bucs should win this game and clinch the South this week, man. Clinch it.
It's hard to beat a team 2 times in a season, and the Saints, they're looking to play spoiler. They don't like the Bucs just as like we don't like the Saints. So we'll see. It's a home game, so you wanna clinch the playoffs. You want to do this at home. We don't want to do it next week against the Panthers. We want to do it this Sunday. We want to do the champagne stuff. I don't know if they do that in football, but we want to do all that good stuff. We want the fans to be cheering at home. Don't let the Saints come in and spoil this.
TB3 wants to celebrate.
What the heck is up with ESPN FBI giving the Saints a 51.8% chance to
That
win?
thing's so stupid.
Dude, that thing is so outdated. But yeah, just to give you guys a little recap of the last game, the Bucs went into the Superdome and won 26-9. And this was actually the first game the Bucs actually ran very well. They ran for over 150 yards, I think, if I'm correct. So they were able to run without Aaron Stinney. Sorry. Nope, not 150. They ran for 114 yards in this game
still
without
pretty good.
Aaron Stinney. So with Aaron Stinney, with an improved Cody Mauch, I think they could get up to 150. I think it's going to be a huge day for Rashad White. The Saints defense has looked porous the last few weeks. And for the defense, so yeah, that would be my key. Get the run game going on offense. And for the defense, a key for that is just keep limiting the big plays. The Bucs are going to make big plays if they keep everyone in front of them. What killed them in some of these middle games were huge plays from C.J. Stroud, from Purdy, from Josh Allen. These huge plays derailed the whole Bucs defense. But if they're able to keep people in front, make the other team drive up and down the field, they're not gonna do that often. Especially the Saints with Derek Carr and or Jameis Winston. That's not gonna happen. So limit the big plays, get the run game going. That's my keys for the Bucs this Sunday.
I think too we can give Baker Mayfield a bigger leash. Let's see what kind of big plays he has in him. Like I know he wants to go for some of them, and some of the fear is to limit the interceptions. But hey, let him have one or two bigger plays in this game. Just the shot for it. So we'll see.
I want to be really overconfident. Because I hate the Saints so much, and I hate Derek Carr with the passion. My keys for the game: if you just show up on defense, Derek Carr will piss away the game himself. I'm just being honest. Look, I just think how well you played last time. I know they're fighting for their lives, but you just got to stay hot, stay consistent. I think consistency is key. You don't want to change anything up what you're doing. The defense is playing great. The offense is playing great. Don't come out with some new thing. Just stay consistent. Consistency is key, and that's why the Bucs will win. You just play against Derek Carr. He will throw picks. He will make mistakes. He will look like an idiot. I think he wears mascara. I have this conspiracy where he wears mascara because he's
Wants to look like Sid from Toy Story more.
Because he's just soft. He's
soft.
softer than Charmin.
He is kind of soft.
I hate the Saints.
I hate
Win
the Saints.
the game.
Ugh.
This game is on Fox. Finally.
Hey.
Finally, it's on Fox.
Maybe we'll get
1
Rondé
p.m.
to call this game. Rondé and Chris
That would be
Myers.
good.
That would be
I'd
awesome.
love a Kenny Albert.
Okay, yeah. I like Kenny Albert too.
What's his name? I don't want him and Greg Olson.
Kevin Burkhardt? I like Kevin Burkhardt.
Don't like him.
That's fair.
Don't like him. I'm sorry. I like Greg Olson though. Can't believe I'm saying that, but I do like his.
I like Kevin Burkhardt. He's really
He pronounces
gets excited.
things too
That's
much. Like
fair.
it's just annoying. Anyways, we gotta predict this thing because last week we went 3 for 3. We all picked the Bucs. Man, I'm on a 4-game win streak here.
You pick the Bucs
so
every week.
Because I pick the Bucs every week,
Yeah.
and I'm going to do it again. You know what? I'm saying the Bucs win this game. It's going to be a little close because it's a divisional. I'm saying the Bucs win this game 26-21. 26-23. And it's not going to be necessarily close the whole game, but I think the Saints are a little bit of a second-half team because they're always playing from behind. So I'm saying 26-23, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm going to say 30-20 Buccaneers.
I think I'm going for the clean sweep, guys, man. I think the Saints are unraveling. The Bucs are peaking. We're a better team. We got the better quarterback. We got the better playmakers. Everything. This should be a Bucs win, and it's going to be a Bucs win. 27-16, the Bucs will win this game. That's what's going to happen, and it's going to be a statement. Man, if we can finish this season off 6 straight wins, 10-7 record, that's impressive. That is an impressive feat for Todd Bowles and this Buccaneers team. I would love to see it. I don't know if they win this game. I don't know what type of players will play in that Carolina game, but we'll just have to see.
It sounds like you're going to see a lot of the starters, and that was kind of why I brought it up earlier, is that a lot of people are like, why is Baker still in the game? They're up by so many points. But I guess Todd Bowles was saying he didn't like how the team responded when they gave guys rest against Atlanta last year in Week 18.
Fair.
So I think to keep them hot, we might see most of the starters that whole game.
At least for a half instead of a quarter or something like that. Yeah, I was kind of surprised too. I mean, Baker was taking unnecessary hits, so in that front, I was like, I don't know. At the end of the game, when it's a blowout, I would have liked to see some of the backups go in. But for that last game, if the starters play for a half, I do think that would be valuable for the team because they only played for a quarter. And it's like they were just starting to hit their stride and find good, and they just kind of like lost all their momentum by sitting those starters out. So I think that's a good adjustment for Todd Bowles. 27-16 is what I said. Yeah, Bucs 27-16. Bucs clean sweep is what TB3 says. You heard it from Will. It'll be a 1 p.m. game on Fox for the division, must-see TV, so tune in if you can get in Raymond James. I think the tickets didn't look that bad. If you can get in the stadium, create a great atmosphere. It was a great atmosphere on Christmas Eve. You know, almost a sold-out stadium, maybe a couple seats, you know, people didn't show up or people didn't buy, but packed-out stadium, loud, lively crowd, a bunch of Bucs fans, not a bunch of opposing fans. Great time, great atmosphere. Let's make it again
it's your
for
last
the Bucs.
regular season home game.
Yep. Get warmed up for the playoff game that we're going to host in a couple weeks. Where we need to be rowdy.
I think we're going to that. Are we?
Gotta,
if they go,
we gotta.
Think we're going to that.
We gotta, unless it's crazy.
I don't think it'll be too crazy.
I don't know. No Tom Brady, so you never know. If it's under 200, I'm purchasing it.
I bet it will be.
I hope so. But yes, that would be awesome. But yeah, show up this week. Last regular season home game. Show up, crew. The Bucs need you.
I want some NFC South champs gear. This season means so much to me. I want us, like, if they win, I might get it. I know it's like meaningless.
Baker hitting like a cigar with the NFC South champ. Oh, that pick's gonna go hard. We need to see that.
That might be the thumbnail.
That might be the thumbnail. If that happens, that'll be the thumbnail. Oh, that'll be hard, bro. Hard picture. But yeah, tune in, watch the Bucs, head to the game. But there's not only one team in Tampa Bay playing. There's another team in Tampa Bay playing. And let me tell you what, there was some ups and downs for this team, but they seem to be playing really well right now. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I'm talking about them because we talk about them every week. But also, we're talking about them nicely this week because they went 3-0 this week. And they had some big matchups. So I'm going to recap it for you. Starting off on Tuesday, we were recording, but we locked in our picks, but we saw this result. We actually told you guys over and over to check the box score because it might be something good, but we didn't spoil it. We would never do that. But Tuesday in Amalie Arena, big homestand, the Tampa Bay Lightning hosted the St. Louis Blues, and the Lightning would not be denied on this night as they get 3 first-period goals from Mikey Esamont, from Tyler Mott, and from Nikita Kucherov, of course. And they go up 3-0 to end the first period, and then they keep the ball rolling in the second period as Nikita Kucherov, that guy's pretty good at hockey, I must say, gets another goal. Hayden Fleury gets his first goal of the season. Shout out to you, Hayden. And the Lightning are up 5-0 at the end of the second period. And then, just for good measure, Nick Paul gets the 6th on the power play, and St. Louis gets a goal. We couldn't have the shutout, but it's okay. The Lightning win this game 6-1 off deadly offense, solid defense, and great goaltending from Andrei Vasilevsky. But a game that I think a lot of us had circled on our calendars, a huge game in Amalie Arena on a Thursday night, the week before Christmas, the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, headed into town to face off against a team that knows something about winning cups of their own. And let me tell you, this matchup lived up to the hype, as Jonathan Marchessault and Barbashev put the Knights up 2-0 in the first period, and it's looking like the Lightning aren't ready for the moment. However, the Lightning had a storm in the second period, and they scored 4 goals unanswered as Alex Barré-Boulet scores the first goal for the Lightning on a tip-in, beautiful hand-eye coordination, and then Nikita Kucherov on the power play. Snooze, yawn, happens every week, don't care, it happens every game. And then Braden Point would get 2 in a row. One on the power play, one not on the power play, but both of those goals count the same. They put the Lightning up 4-2 at the end of the second period. However, the Lightning, sometimes they get a little loosey-goosey with their leads. As Jonathan Marchessault, he was Stanley Cup MVP, right? I think he was. Wait, that's not
this year.
That's not last year.
Dude, I didn't watch.
I think he was the
I
playoffs.
hated it.
Yeah, I don't know, but he gets another goal, cuts the lead to 4-3, and then Paul Cotter ties this game up 4-4, and we are looking like we're on a collision course for overtime. But with 1:13 left, Nick Paul in the corner snipes a shot past the goaltender in the back of the net. The Lightning go up 5-4, and that score would hold as the Lightning win this game in regulation, 5-4. Huge win in Amalie Arena. But can they finish off
That's
an
a
undefeated
back-breaking
week?
loss for Vegas. Like, they're expecting that at least at one point, and we're like, nope, no points.
I mean, the game-winning goal was a bad goal for the Lightning. Like, it was a loose puck, and he was, like, on the side of the net in, like, the corner, and he just sniped it, like, behind the goalie. Not the best from the Vegas goaltender, but that's all right. But on the only road game of this week, the Lightning headed into the nation's capital to face off against Alexander Ovechkin and the Washington Capitals for the first time this season. Yep, and this game was a little bit of a defensive showcase, as in the first period, Luke Glendening gets a deflection goal to put the Lightning up 1-0, and then in the second period, Anthony Mantha gets another long shot goal for the Capitals to tie it up 1-1, and that's where we would end going into overtime. And for the first time, I think this year, maybe the second time, the Lightning, overtime's not enough for them either, as both teams do not score. It's still 1-1, and we're headed to a shootout. And in the shootout, it doesn't start off good, as Evgeny Kuznetsov, I hate that guy. I've always hated that guy. He, on the first goal, or the first shot, gets the first goal for the Caps, and it's looking like they might take this one, but then Vazzy saves the rest of the shots that he faces in the shootout. He's nails, and Braden Point is too skilled to be stopped. He speeds off.
He is
so good.
Oh
He's
my
so
gosh.
fast. He speeds off, gets the tying goal in the shootout, and then the big man, Victor Hedman, closes it out with a nice shot, a wrister. Puts the Lightning up 2-1 in the shootout and makes them win this game 2-1. And the Lightning go 3-0 on this week. How are we feeling?
They're the roller coaster ride that I love to be on. It's like, oh, we got a good hill this week. I mean, you can't complain about anything this week. The Stars were the Stars. We had goals from the guys in the second and third lines. You can't complain. Like, let's build on this momentum. Let's seal the deal. Let's keep pushing towards a playoff spot, and let's be in a place where we can be comfortable and rest players going into like February, March.
Yeah, I think this was a big week, man. It really was. We're finally starting to get close to turning that calendar, getting into 2024. Can't believe it's almost here, and that playoff push is going to start revving up. But 3 huge wins. That's 6 points. Big 6 points. You needed that I'm fired up, man. I think I was the most fired up about the Vegas game.
Oh, yeah. That was probably game of the year, honestly, or one of them at
So
least.
far, that was one of the
or
best
that Boston
games.
game. That Boston and Vegas are close,
I was
close
wondering,
tie.
man, when are we going to play Boston again? I want to
Yeah.
beat them. I want that feeling again to beat them.
Oh, man.
But I'll take it. I'll take beating the Caps. I'll take beating the Knights. Maybe that's a Stanley Cup.
Winning streak.
No, that's a preview.
Ooh, Knights and Lightning.
I
That would be
would
fun.
love it.
We were robbed of it in 2021 when the Canadians upset the Knights.
We going
Robbed
to
of
Vegas?
it. Hey, I've been to T-Mobile Arena. It's nice. But yeah, this was and what stuck out to me was the defense in this week. You know, the Lightning hold the Blues to 1 goal. They hold a very potent Knights to 4 goals, but it's enough to win. And then they hold Washington to 1 goal. And not only regulation, but overtime, too. So the defense made a nice step this week, and you love to see it because that's been the gaping weakness for the Lightning to start off the season.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing as far as defense was in the Capitals game because when you're on the road, the ice is tilted against you for 2 periods. The home team can make adjustments quicker than you can, and I think to be able to hold them to 1 goal, and that's with some extra overtime in there, you got to shout out the defense. I'll save that for later. I don't know if they played necessarily that great against Vegas, though, but what I did like is that despite playing pretty sloppy in that first period, they were able to turn it around, and they were able to score goals when they needed to, and they put it away, and they didn't wait for overtime to break my heart. Say Nick Paul called game, and I think that was just a step in the right direction. That's why that game was so big to me, because you play sloppy for 1 period, you give up 2 goals, and I really did not expect them to have such a great second period that they did. And I thought it was just kind of the same recipe of they're gonna go down by a lot, they're gonna have to battle all the way back, somebody's gonna tie it late, and they lose in overtime. No. They totally turned it around, and despite some bad defense, they kept their cool, they kept their composure, and they got away with the win. And probably, like you said, maybe the biggest game of the year, the biggest win for them.
Being at home this week showed. You had a pretty extensive West Coast trip a couple weeks back, and then last week being at home, you're able to run off 4 straight wins, and that's the home crowd, the home cooking, the home night's sleep at home. All those kind of things, and it shows on the calendar this week.
Yeah, and they had the thing where I think they had multiple West Coast trips in a month span. So, I mean, it's good that they got it over with now. I'm glad that they're doing this now in November as opposed to later down February, March when it's a playoff push. But, I mean, it's hard. Those are hard. They're hard in any sport. We talk about the Rays. Even when a football team goes across country, it's hard. It's hard to do that. Your time zones are off. You're not in your own bed. It's a hard thing to do, and being home, like Joel said, was huge for them this week. The crowds were electric. They were huge crowds. And, they showed, just dominated performance from the Blues. I think that set the tone for the week. I know it's the weakest opponent that we faced, but to beat that team 6-1, coming off a loss in Calgary, to just, step on their throats and not let them have anything. We've seen where Lightning play inferior opponents, and they kind of let them get back in the game, cut it to a 1 or 2 goal lead. The Lightning just kept adding on in this game, and there was never a doubt that they were going to win this game.
Yeah, I love to see it. For those of you listening, maybe you keep receipts. Maybe you keep receipts on this show. But I said, Bennington sucks. He sucks. And that dude on Tuesday could not stop a beach ball and a soccer net. He was terrible. And I love to see the Lightning just rough him up. Just get him out of there. He's terrible. The Blues stink. I just hated that they won that game because I wasn't making it up. The Blues are terrible. And I'm just glad the Lightning were able to prove it. Prove me right a little bit.
And the Lightning also got smoked by the Blues on the road earlier this season, so it was good to get a little revenge for that wacky game.
It was great to get revenge, but at the end of the day, I was right. The Blues stink. Man, it was so nice to be at home. I felt like they haven't had a home game in forever.
Yeah, and they have
forever.
They have a bunch of home games coming up this week too, which
Yes,
is awesome.
and they have
They got the road ones out of the way.
They have a nice Christmas break.
Yep.
They what was the last game? Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday they're back on
Saturday,
Wednesday.
yeah, you got half a week
Yeah,
off.
that's awesome.
Christmas to
Get
yourself.
healthy.
Yeah, I liked it. And I think, speaking of getting healthy, I think we saw some prime Bazzi back.
Mm-hmm.
I think he played phenomenal in the Blues game because I would say Tampa's defense wasn't necessarily great in that game. And he played phenomenal, completely shut him down. I mean, that only goal came with like 4 minutes left in the third period. I mean, Bazzi was probably thinking what he was going to get for dinner after the game. I mean, they were up 6-0. So, yeah, there's that. And then I think
Caps game. Caps game. Second period, he
Phenomenal
really weathered the
defense.
storm for the Lightning. And the Vasilevsky, there was really good defense that game by the Lightning, but there was a point in the second period where they got a little sloppy. The Capitals got some opportunities, and Vazzy stood tall in those opportunities. He did really good in that game. That was like when it's a 1-1 game, there's so much pressure on each goaltender, and obviously he stopped 4 out of the 5 shootout attempts too, which is like there's so much pressure on the goaltender in that game, and he stood tall. It was a really good game for Vazzy.
Yeah, and I think even too, like just one thing that stuck out to me is even though they gave up 4 goals in the Knights game, I mean, if you watch the film, that defense was playing so bad, and he saved a lot of should-have-been goals from the Knights. He kept them in it. So you got to give him credit for that as well. He only gave up 2 in the first period. Easily could have been
they were playing horrible
4
in
or
the first
5.
period.
So
horrible in the first period.
I just love seeing that because he's your anchor. That's what you've needed. I think, don't get me wrong, Johansson wasn't playing terrible by any means, but you have somebody like the Big Cat who's so good, best goalie in the NHL. I don't care. You can argue with me all day. He's the best. He is. That's what you need him for. He keeps you in games. He's your picker-upper when you're playing subpar. When you need a boost, he's going to make some saves that he shouldn't. And I think we saw that in the Knights game.
The goalie's supposed to be your best defensive player on the ice. He played all 3 games, and he had himself a really good week.
Yeah, and then also, I think this is like all we just like acknowledge it silently, but we should say it. Nikita Kucherov leads the NHL in points. He's number 1, Hart Trophy.
Hart Trophy,
for,
give it
for
to
Kuch.
him.
So he's having an amazing season. It's like a career year for him through this point. So
Which is crazy to think because he's just always good.
He's always good, but he's shooting more and it's taking another level. And he's just automatic, man. The power play this past week was pretty much automatic. It was good
The
to see.
Knights did not want to see that power play at all.
Yeah, well, they got the 5-on-3. Yeah, they got the double power play and they scored on both of them. It's awesome. And that's what changed the game.
Dude,
the power play is what flipped that game on its head.
It just, I was just thinking, like, I would hate to be in a 5-on-3 against the Lightning because
You're looking silly.
You just
too.
had
They're
Stammer,
oh my God,
Kucherov, and I think it was Hedman just sitting up, just passing it back and forth. And it's like, you know it's going to get to either the best, I'd say Stammer's one of the best one-timers in the NHL, and then it's like, okay, well, if he doesn't have the puck, it's going to Kucherov. So it's literally like pick your poison.
Victor Hedman doesn't have a slouch shot either.
Yeah.
He's looking to rocket one. Yeah, that is funny. Like
and
the way they just dink it around, and it's just they're just standing there like trying to put their stick in the way.
And you got Nick Paul down there causing a ruckus, causing traffic.
Brandon Point's going to be there somewhere.
Point, yeah, dude.
At that point, you just clutter up the net and hope that it goes off a body.
That is true. Yeah, that's their power play has been fantastic. Fantastic. I think we said they had the second highest percentage.
Yeah, it was at like what 27%.
No, I think it was like 35.
35%. Dude, that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, I think. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to give Kucherov credit sometimes because he is that good. So I'm glad you brought that up because again, I mean, it's just kind of like routine. It's routine to see him play so well. So
yeah, it's kind of like
shout
Mike
out
Evans.
Cooch, man. I know you're listening. We're giving you your flowers.
Yeah, he's
although
like,
you always deserve.
He's kind of like Mike Evans. We kind of take him for granted, but we shouldn't. And I just want to mention that because he's having a career year, and he's a man. Like I've said, it's like he scores so many. It's like a goal a game, man. And he's throwing an assist there too. He's just playing great. Just the way he sees the ice when he's playing hockey it's something special that I don't take for granted watching. I don't. It's awesome. But yeah, and then we talked about, I think it's hard that Lightning Golden Knights game. It was a little bit of bad defense, but it's like those are two really good teams, man. Any type of mistake is just magnified in the game like that, and the way they were going back and forth, it kind of shows that those are two really good teams playing a high level hockey game. Which that's what it was, man. It was a high level hockey game.
Yeah, you make a great point there. This is a Stanley Cup champions from last year, and they still got all those guys. I don't know. I feel like they've never even got close to having salary cap issues. Like they've had the same roster since they were created.
We're in no position to talk.
Well, we've kept our stars, but we've lost some pieces.
That's true.
I miss you, Barclay Goodrow.
Blake
I miss
Coleman.
you, Blake Coleman. Yanni Gord.
Ooh, that was a crazy line. Yeah, man.
Ross Colton.
Ooh.
Who's the guy who went to the Devils?
Andre Palat.
Andre Palat, your favorite?
I hate that guy. I just know he left.
Andre
Tyler
Palat was
Johnson.
the clutchest guy on our team.
Tyler Johnson,
We cut
man.
Tyler Johnson, man.
Yeah. Tyler Johnson, he's still playing, though,
He's on
which
the
is
Blackhawks,
crazy.
I
Yeah,
think.
I thought he was going to retire after he got cut. But, yeah, man, the stars have to be stars because it is like a new supporting cast. Shout out Hayden Fleury. New people are getting the goal. Tyler Mott's been playing good.
I really like to see that, especially in that one. You got more guys scoring. You're not just relying on Cooch and Stamkos. And Glendening was hurt. He was hurt, and he comes back and plays in the Caps game and scores a goal, man.
Beast
So,
mode.
yeah, you love to see that. You love seeing some of that supporting cast come in and make some plays. But are we ready to talk about this upcoming week? Because it's kind of a doozy.
I'm ready.
It's a big
Let's
week.
do
It's
it.
kind of a doozy. The Lightning on Wednesday, 12/27. You'll probably be listening to this as you're preparing for the game, listening to our pregame analysis. They are at home at 7 o'clock on Bally. They are playing the Florida Panthers, the in-state rivals. We don't like them. They don't like us. Then Saturday, December 30th, 7 p.m. on Bally, you got the New York Rangers and Zibanejad coming to town. Then on Sunday, back-to-back days, New Year's Eve, 7 o'clock on Bally, the Montreal Canadiens come into town. So it's a tough week, man. It's a tough week. You got
Home
two.
stand.
Yeah, that's a good thing. It's a home stand, but you got two playoff teams and one really good team, so they say, coming in. I mean, they got a lot of stars on this team. Barclay Goodrow, as we just mentioned. Artemi Panarin, he's a dog. He's played forever. Capo Caco, Adam Fox.
They're a good team. Rangers are
Igor
a really good team.
Shesterkin.
Oh man, he's not better than Vazzy. I'm not saying it. I never
Rangers
will.
do scare me this week, though.
Yeah, it'll be a good game at home. Don't let the Ranger fans be mean.
Oh, I went to a Rangers game one time, and the Rangers fans suck. Make sure we're louder than the
they're
Rangers.
New
Yankees.
York
Yeah,
sucks.
they're Yankee fans and they're Giants fans, so they would suck.
It was his dad and his daughter, and they got so excited every time the Rangers scored a goal. I wanted to punch them.
Yeah, I can't stand New York. Yeah, I'd say for the keys to the Lightning, this is gonna be a physical game with the Panthers. There's gonna be some fights. Stay composed. Capitalize on the power plays, man. I think you beat the Panthers. Rangers.
Don't commit penalties against the Rangers. That power play is deadly.
Yeah, their
That
power play is deadly, and they
deadly.
got speed.
Yep.
You gotta be able to slow them down. This is gonna be big on your defense. You cannot have you can't have gaffes and fumbles when there's 2-on-2s or odd man rushes. You can't let those happen. You can't let odd man rushes happen. You gotta lock it down on defense because they are fast. Montreal Canadiens, they're a decent team, kind of middle of the road. They got Nick Suzuki. He's solid. He's kind of been their points leader. Trying to see who else they got. Alex Newhook, he's decent.
Is Cole Caulfield playing this year, or is he in the minors still?
Cole Caulfield is playing.
All
I
right.
forgot about him, man.
Yeah.
It's kind of been quiet, kind of been a letdown.
They've been building up a nice little young core. That's what they're going for right now. So they're on the up and come.
Carey Price, dude.
Wow.
The game's passed you by, buddy. It's time to go be an analyst. Anyways, yeah, I think
They're on like a 30-year Stanley Cup drought. So they're rebuilding, and they're looking for a nice dynasty.
Well, Canada's on
That's true.
for 30 years.
I
I
yeah,
think
it's the last cup.
The Canadiens were the last ones.
Yeah,
to
the
win,
last
though.
cup.
Yeah.
I never want to see Canada win again.
That's so
neither.
crazy.
Never want it to
The
happen.
whole country.
Maybe that's the red, white, and blue in me, but I never want to see Canada win again. And I'll be darned if it's the Toronto Maple Leafs.
It won't be them.
That's
The
a nightmare.
Oilers are going to run into one.
It would be funny.
Dude,
I don't want it to be,
I don't want them to win
If
either.
it's anyone, it's like I want it to be the Canucks or like the Flames.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me the
One of
Canucks.
those- one of
Give me
those
the
unsung-
Senators.
Yeah,
Give me
that
the
would be-
Ottawa
I was
Senators.
rooting for the Canucks when they made it back to like
Yeah,
2011.
then they rioted the streets.
The
So
Henriksen
they
brothers, isn't that who
Yeah,
who
something
led
like
that team?
They rioted on the streets and kind of ruined it all. All that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah,
I got you. I'm going.
You're going?
I'm going. All right.
Let me get it set
I
up here.
think the Lightning have hit a little bit of groove. You know, Lightning logic would tell me that this is going to be a bad week because they had a good week last week. But I think they've hit a groove, so I'm going to go 2-1 again. I'm going to go 2-1, and I'm going to say Nick Paul scores this week. I haven't picked him.
I like it.
But he scores a lot.
Joel, what are you thinking?
It is a tough one. Like, I'm scared of the Rangers. I think that one's going to be a loss. Just to mix it up, I'm going to go 1-2. We had a good week. I think we might have a couple losses. It's nothing negative. It's just
That's
I'm
fair.
I'm just playing a game here.
I'm telling you, that's what the Lightning have done, man.
So I'm gonna go 1-2. I don't want to, but I'll do it just to mix this up. And I'm gonna say here's how I'm looking at this. Colby picked Hedman last week, and he didn't give him a goal. So I see him as like a slot machine.
Well.
I see him as a slot machine ready to give me a jackpot. So I'm gonna go ahead.
Well, Victor Hedman did give me a goal. I don't know. You guys can leave a comment as your thoughts, but Victor Hedman scored the game-winning shootout goal against the Caps, and I think I should get a point for that because it changed the score from 1-1 to 2-1, and it was a game winner.
We're gonna give him a point, but it doesn't go towards his
the-
goal stats.
Okay, listen, guys. If you're listening right now, which I know you are, I know just about half of Tampa Bay is. I need help because I hold the point scoring. I'm the point scorer.
It's
I
sacred.
keep track
It's
of it. It is sacred. I have a lot of integrity when doing it. Even when I know sometimes it doesn't work out in my favor, I still give points to people, even if it harms me. This is one of the toughest decisions I've had to come up with because I agree with Joel and basically the NHL. It does not count as a goal. It does not count in the stat sheet for Victor Hedman that he scored a goal. So there's that side. But Colby has a good point. It's a game winner, and I kind of like game winners. It was an overtime, and I got a soft spot for that with the Lightning. So please comment down below. Maybe we'll even do a poll on Instagram. Should that count for the points? I'm letting the fans decide. So, hey, even if it's one of you, I will take your opinion.
Cole, you're not allowed to vote on
Yeah,
this.
it can't be one of us.
Yeah, any vote from non-us is what we're going with.
Literally, if it's just one of you, you will decide if Colby gets a point or not. Right now, I'm leaving it as it is. I haven't scored it. So, you, the fans, get to decide his fate. But, Joel, you said Hedman scored.
Hedman.
I want to say 1-2 because I'm a little afraid. But I think the rest is going to be good for them. And I'm going to say 2-1 as well. For my goal scorer, I would love to see Braden Point score. I would love to see it. I'm going to go Braden Point. Give me a goal, man. Hagel let me down last week. I was kind of surprised.
Dude, Hagel's been on a
gonna
cold streak,
Yeah,
man.
he's probably going to score this week, though, because I did not pick him. But there we go. There's your Lightning games. You got 3 this week. Get excited. Go. They're all at home, guys. They're all at home. Man, imagine game goes into overtime against Boston. Or who is it? Sorry. Not Boston.
New York.
No.
Panthers.
The Canadians. You get to watch the Lightning in 2 different years. Maybe the game goes late.
I don't know how you could make that. 7 o'clock
5-hour
game.
game.
Stretch the game. Stretch it.
Game.
Yeah, we're
Stretch the
changing-
game.
Shootout went
A
for
lot
an
of
hour.
commercials. Maybe like there's a problem with the ice or something.
They go to playoff rules just for the New Year's Eve game,
Yeah.
so it'll go for 5
Yes,
hours. Yeah.
I just thought about that. Or like the Lightning win and you're celebrating, and that turns midnight. I mean, that game could go till like
Man,
10:30, 11.
I'm thinking about the college football playoff last year. That was a moment in history. Him missing the kick as
Yeah,
the
that was
ball dropped.
nutty.
That was
actually
nutty.
weird. But that's Ohio State for you. They're terrible.
Yep. And now they're not in the playoff. And Ryan Day was born on third base.
And he hates.
And he hasn't gotten home yet.
Lou Holtz.
Yeah.
Ohio State's in shambles, man. But we'll get to it here. I think that's the lightning talk.
Yep, that's your lightning
That
talk.
is your lightning talk.
Be the Thunder.
Yep, go out to some games, watch them, support your Lightning. It's about to be 2024, so we're gonna have to lock in on the Bolts. So it's time to start ramping up.
We
Tampa
don't have
Bay.
to.
We
get
get
to.
We get to. But
Dude,
yeah,
I love the Bolts, man. Where are you
love
guys
the Bolts.
talking?
No, I'm just saying, like it's getting to time where we gotta lock in the whole city. I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about the whole city. Us too.
This is the part where everybody in the city becomes cliche losers, and we all pull out our Lightning stuff.
Yeah, something like that. Something
I
like
need
that.
a Barry Belay jersey.
Ooh,
Because we got to get TB3 going. I need a Barry Belay jersey.
Clean. Yeah, that'd be clean.
Or the reverse retro. I don't know why I haven't had one yet. They are the coolest jerseys in the NHL.
They're so sick.
With the rain and the waves.
20-something ladies, this is your time of year where your Lightning are headed to the playoffs, so pull out your merchandise.
That is true. That is the city of Tampa in a nutshell. But yeah, speaking of Tampa, and speaking of things that aren't going on in Tampa, we gotta talk about something that went on in the Dominican Republic. Unfortunately,
We just can't get away from the Rays. I need a
can't.
break.
This
I need a break,
This is the prime
guys.
time of the year, man. Free agency's hot.
yeah,
The stove is hot.
Yeah, well,
What did we do so far?
you know who's hot. Joel, wait, before we get to this, you weren't here last week. What would you grade the Rays trade got Tyler Glasnow?
I like it. I was listening to you guys. I'm like, you guys are a little weak on this. I'd give it an A.
A? All right.
I think you guys
A
were like-
minus?
Yeah, I'll
right,
go
A
like a
minus.
92.
Okay, A minus. All right, I agree. It's close to an A minus. I'm with Joel though.
I think you
give
gave
it a
B plus.
B plus. Yeah.
So I'm going in the A region.
I agree. I think,
Okay.
dude, I was watching Ryan Pepiot highlights. Gross pitcher. He's gonna be so good next year.
Okay, hypothetical.
Like 1 year at Glasnow for those two guys. Give me that every
Hypothetical
day.
though.
I agree.
What would you grade this trade
And we got rid of Miguel Margot.
if they
Miguel
do
Margot.
nothing
a
in
B
the
minus
offseason?
or a B plus.
Does your grade change if they don't do anything with
Don't
the
sign
extra money
anyone.
they have?
That's Stu Sternberg. We're not adding a penny to this team. We're cutting payroll. That was the whole point. But
Yeah,
to get
but
these two guys,
we
that's
should
pretty
use that payroll to get JD Martinez.
good. Okay,
is all
well,
I'm saying.
go write an upset letter to Stu Sternberg and see what happens.
Maybe I will. But the other thing I'm upset about is Wander Franco is not looking like he's going to play for the Rays anytime ever. Because today, the Santo Domingo Prosecutor's Office for Children and Adolescents carried out 2 raids on Tuesday at the homes in Bani and Parivia province in search for Dominican Major League Baseball player Wander Franco, and he was not found. So we got police officers and a manhunt searching for Wander Franco. We have him out of the United States in the Dominican Republic, and it's just not looking good for 2024 or for any season ever for us to be seeing our franchise shortstop. So that's really stinks is really all we have to say about that.
I didn't grow up during the Josh Hamilton Rays saga, but I imagine this is what it feels like. Just like the prime prospect, the guy that we've been putting all our hope in, and now it's just like slowly crumbling one chapter after another. And this one's a big blow, so we'll see. Let's hope there's still some upside in this, some value, somewhere where we can become stronger because of Wander Franco. But this is a sad story right now.
Yeah. I thought, because it was like Mark Tompkin who was saying it, the most trusted writer for the Tampa Bay Rays, saying like it's a good sign he went back home to the DR because it probably means they're not looking for him and they're not looking to arrest him. And then we get this news. I just think of, if you ever watch Narcos, when like the DA did raids on some of the Pablo Escobar guys and they're just like running through roofs and stuff and like running through favelas. I just kind of imagine that, which is not funny at all, but
Not funny
not funny at all.
Not funny.
But man, it just stinks. And I hope it's corrupt government. I'm desperate.
It's possible. It really
I love
is
Wander
possible.
Franco so much.
And
I don't
those
want it
right
to be
now.
true. I
Yeah.
don't want it to be
You
true.
have to
I
take
want
down
these
that bobblehead, buddy.
I want these allegations to be false so bad because I know, not just because he's good for my team, because I hate seeing that, man.
Yeah.
I hate seeing that for young stars. I mean, this guy's like, what, 22? 22 years old, man, and
he's 21. No,
21. I mean, his life could be ruined, and you don't want to see that for anybody, man. So I'm just hoping it's money, political reasons, whatever, corrupt government, because you don't want to see somebody's career and story get ended so abruptly for something so sick. Because I just look at one. I wish that wasn't true. Like, I just pray that's not true.
Yeah.
Because it's sick. I mean, the allegations are serious. Doing that stuff is wrong, and that's why, like, it's so bad that you hope it's just false.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we hope it's false. Number one, that it didn't happen. We hope that there was no sexual relationship between Wander Franco and a minor. That's an evil thing. That's something that just cannot happen. It's not okay. It will never be okay, and it's disgusting. It's a disgusting act. And so that's the number one reason. And it's that weird. It's been at a weird point. You haven't been getting answers, so you kind of feel like, I don't know. I'm an optimist, so in that way, I feel like it's like if he hasn't been charged yet, you feel like he's gonna get off soon. But in the same way, he hasn't been proven innocent yet, so it's not like he's gonna get off soon. So I don't know. It's just the way you look at it, and it's just unfortunate, man.
This could be something that plays out for a while. We'll see how long the Rays keep him under contract. But thinking about Josh Hamilton, the Rays let go of him, and then a little while later he went on to be with the Reds, and then he went on to be with the Rangers, and that was where he became a breakout star. So I'm wondering if something like that will happen with Wander Franco one day, where he is cut from the Rays and then he goes somewhere else and becomes a star.
I'm a newer Rays fan. What did Josh Hamilton do?
I think he was just a drug addict. I don't.
Yeah, it was drugs.
I don't remember completely.
That's different. That's different, man.
It's
that's different.
It's different, but it was something where the Rays said, "All right, we're done." That was the last
No,
straw.
I know. I'm just saying, like, one's jail, one's addiction, which both are bad. But I definitely think, I don't know.
It's easier to overcome the drugs.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a matter of will he come back from this? If he does, hopefully it's on the Rays.
It's just right now, just if you're a Rays fan, you gotta put your faith in Junior Caminero and your faith in the Taylor Walls resurgence, because it's really not.
It just
Can
we move on?
Okay,
That's just making me sick to my stomach.
Taylor Walls hits 245 again.
Do you not remember when Taylor Walls was like in May when he was playing good?
hot.
That was
He was
awesome.
hot.
You remember that one game of 162? He was good.
He hit a grand slam in Yankee Stadium. I remember that. But maybe he'll do that in like for 2 months or 3 months.
His best part of his game was his defense, and he lost that too.
Maybe he'll be back on defense. Maybe he had a child. Maybe he's gonna come back with dad strength. But But I'm saying, like, I want to see Junior.
He's not focused on ball.
Yeah.
He cares too much about his family. He's not focused on the right things.
Yeah. No, this is. Yeah, but you might see Taylor Walls, hopefully Junior, but I don't know how. They don't like his defense at shortstop, but at some point you just gotta let it happen. But yes, we would not advise you to have any faith that Wander Franco is going to play in 24. And if he does, it's a pleasant surprise.
Sorry for the bad news, guys, but let's get to some good news. Let's get to Thursday of last week.
Sign J.D. Martinez, Jorge Soler Rays. Please, 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 please.
Yes, please, as always. You guys know the deal. You guys know. But Thursday, December 16th, the USF, the South Florida Bulls, played a bowl game. Some postseason ball against a Power 5 team named Syracuse in the Boca Raton Bowl. A field to which is home of Florida Atlantic, who after UCF left for the Big 12, FAU has kind of become USF's new rival. And despite bragging about winning the game against USF this year, all this and that, guess who was in a bowl game and guess who wasn't? And guess who's playing on your field while you were sitting on the couch? That's right, your USF Bulls. And oh man, oh man.
Man, oh man is
Gosh
right.
darn it, man. They whooped that butt, didn't they? That's your quote from
sir.
Alex Golish, Chef Golish. The Bulls won the game 45-0. Goose egg.
You heard that right.
Zero. Zilch.
If you put money on this season back in like July, you'd be a millionaire.
Dude, I should have put money on the Bulls going 6-6. Oh, if I had bet the over on their wins, I would be rich right now because I knew it. And I said 6-6 with a bowl win. Man,
Colby
what
believed
a
in them the
turnaround.
most. Me and Joel were a little bit more negative. But who'd have thought? And that is why so much credit needs to go to Chef Golish for turning this program around so fast. And look, it wasn't Syracuse's best team. They had a tight end playing quarterback, okay? We get it. But regardless, there's a lot more talent on that Syracuse team than there is USF. And maybe some of that is because USF is slept on. I think we have the best group of 5 quarterback in all of college football. I think we have the best white boy gritty receiver in all of college football.
No one's grittier than him.
No one's grittier than him. First receiver in USF Bulls history with over 1,000 receiving yards in a season. We have Day Evans, your Boca Raton defensive MVP of the game. This was a statement win. A statement win for the program after you got some good news about their stadium, after you got some good news about them having the best recruiting class out of all group of 5 teams for 2024. Best recruiting class. And you go out there, you face a tough opponent, and you smoke them. You smoke them. And you can't say enough great things about Golish and this team for what they did this year. And it capped off an amazing season. One that will be remembered forever, I think, in South Florida Bulls lore.
Absolutely, saying that it'll be remembered forever. This is among the greatest seasons since the passing of Leroy Silman. They had a great run in the mid-2010s, but since then it's been dark. It's been dark. So this happening a couple of years earlier than most of us expected, and the new stadium coming, we will remember this season in the USF football Bulls history for years to come.
Yeah, and there's always that season when you turn around a program where you look at it, it wasn't the prettiest season, but it was where the culture was built. And that's what this season was. You know, you go from 1-11 to 7-6. 6 more wins than you had last year. That is a crazy turnaround with a first-year head coach, with a place that there wasn't people flocking there, man. And to piggyback on what Will said, not only does USF have the number 1 ranked group of 5 class, they're top 50 in the nation. They're ranked 48th right now after early signing day. They're getting talent. They have a 4-star commitment already.
Who flipped from Tennessee.
Yes, and they're getting talent. They're getting it's amazing. And these, I mean, you can look at these guys, depending on how these young players develop, depending on what the portal holds for them. This team could be a playoff contender next year. And that's not even a crazy thing to say. The playoffs expanding, 1 group of 5 team, maybe 2. I don't know how the Power 5 is going to work with the Power 5 is going to get in. And I see no reason why it can't be USF. You know, you've got people leaving from these group of 5 teams, but Byron Brown's staying. And he's also the 2nd quarterback in USF history to have 4,000 total yards. And he's a true freshman. Quentin Flowers, you know.
I was going to have Joel guess.
He wasn't going to play.
I was going to say that era of the team, but I probably would.
It could have been BJ Daniels.
Actually, I didn't. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't.
Quentin Flowers era was the only other good time.
I didn't do research, so it could be BJ Daniels.
No, it was Quentin Flowers. But I'm saying he could have guessed BJ Daniels.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He might have.
Yeah, maybe.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, as you guys know, I'm not good with names.
He was a dog, man.
He was a dog.
Did he play for the Storm too? Afterwards?
That'd be. I don't know.
I swear he did.
Maybe. Yeah, but I mean, just
the Tampa Bay
just
Storm.
Amazing from Coach Golesh. Just amazing from every single player. Congratulations to them, all the seniors. I'm so glad they get to go out on top. And you know, Syracuse quarterback situation was rough. We know that. However, these players should have been playing with motivation. They have a new coach. They're playing for their spot. Their coach was there. He's seeing what he has for the next season. He's got portal. He's got recruiting. So these guys, if they want to keep playing for Syracuse, they got to earn it. And it's in front of their coach. So they didn't just lay down. They were playing hard, but USF was just outclassing them in every way.
That is a great point because this game went from who cares. This became an audition. Fran Brown is very respected in the college football community. This was an audition to see, do you deserve to be on this team in 2024? And, I mean, USF in all facets of the game just dominated. I think Their running back was held 21 carries, 0 yards. 21
Crazy.
carries, you couldn't even get a single yard. I mean, USF outplayed him. I think as good as Byron Brown has played all year, this was his best game by far. Accurate passing. Just so accurate, making the right reads. Everything was perfect for them. I mean, that's what you get when you play a perfect game. It's 45-0 because everything's rolling. That's a great
You look at
point.
the last 2 games, 48 to 14 against Charlotte, 45-0 against Syracuse. Playing their best football. And, like Will said, Byron Brown, 19 for 26, 214 yards, 3 touchdowns, and also ran for 64 yards on the ground. I mean, great game from him. Sean Atkins, cool little 6 receptions, 93 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Dude.
Absolute dog. And, and the defense had 2 scoop and scores. 4 turnovers forced, 2 scoop and scores.
And they got
Crazy.
one of them. They got a turnover twice, and that was definitely a turnover. It was like some read option they did, and the guy just threw it backwards. And they said it wasn't a fumble. And then the very next play, they returned it again for a touchdown.
It was an ugly game for Syracuse. Like this was a laugher from the start. But you got to give all the credit to USF. I'm so excited to watch them next year. And man, I got to get out to Ray J. I got to get and see these guys because I think they're a playoff contender. I really do. I think they could be the best Group of 5 team next year.
I really do, man. But they got a tough schedule.
They
have Miami at home.
They're beating Miami.
Which
they're
we're
beating
looking
Miami.
forward to going to. They got a road game in Tuscaloosa.
I don't know if they're going to win that one.
Dude.
But I can believe.
I want to go. Because if USF wins on that field, I'm going nuts. And I'm letting Alabama fans know.
I'm storming the field.
Yeah, I'd storm the field there. I don't care. If I get banned from Tuscaloosa, I could care less. I don't want to be there anyway. I'm just there for my Bulls. And regardless, that's your 2 tough games. Doesn't really matter. You just have to win out in the AAC. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're losing SMU. You're not going to see SMU. They're in the AACC now, and then Tulane got rid of their lost their coach. That was probably the 2 best teams.
Well, and their quarterback's transferring, I think, too.
I think he's out of eligibility. That dude's older than dirt. So the AAC is wide open.
And UTSA is losing their AARP quarterback too.
Why do they love that guy so much, dude? They're talking about him in another bowl game, and he doesn't even play. It was
I don't know why he didn't play.
Yeah, it was McCown's son, Josh McCown's son.
I don't know why he didn't play. I think he might have been hurt or something because he was obviously the guy.
He's like, they were just hyping him up so much.
I
was so sick of him.
Yeah.
It was like a UTSA home game for the USF game, and then they just went gaga. He didn't even play. But yeah, I'm so excited for the future. I'm so excited to see what this team can do, and it just gets me. It gets me a little emotional, man, because if you watched Coach Golish's interview after the game, I mean, he got to, because it's just. I think the thing he said the most is like, these guys did not have to believe in me, but they did. They had no reason to believe in me or trust the plan, trust the process, but they did. They bought in, and this program's relevant again.
Yeah.
This program's relevant again. You got all the national news covering them, talking about the game. I'm so excited for this program because I want to see this team do well. I want to see Tampa not known just for the Bucs, the Rays, the Lightning. I want USF football to be right up there with the big three. I want to see USF Bulls stuff in the streets. I want to hear that as the talk of the town because it's hard sometimes. You have Florida and Florida State. That's going to be the big thing. But I don't want that. I really don't. I want it to be all about USF when you come to Tampa. So, and I'm excited to see where it's going. Because I think it'll trend that way.
And
all of it's building at the right time. Stadium's right around the corner. Teams getting better and better. Next year is going to be exciting.
I'm so excited, man. I hope they get the young players develop. They get the recruits come in and contribute. They get in the portal. Hopefully, get some.
They got a Purdue receiver from the portal.
Yeah,
I don't think we mentioned that. He looks pretty good.
Yeah, they literally that type of thing. Like they really could if they play their cards right with the quarterback they have and the emerging defense, because a lot of their players are freshmen and sophomore. There's some seniors, but there's a lot of young players. They they really could be a playoff contender, and that would be awesome. But even not a playoff contender, they can win their conference for sure.
Oh man, and it's a home game too in the AAC.
Yeah.
If you're the best team in the conference through the regular season, you get a home game. Raymond James Stadium, under the lights, conference championship.
That would be awesome.
Ooh-wee.
I don't think USF has ever hosted one of those. Because even when they were good, UCF was a little bit better, and Memphis, man, that one game.
Get Memphis out of this.
The Mike
conference.
Norvell Memphis, man.
Hey, I'm surprised they're not in the ACC too, Joel, but they're content. Memphis in the ACC, that makes almost too much sense.
Well, if FSU gets out, I want USF in there.
USF and Memphis, they can go.
In the ACC, that'd be sick.
Yeah, that would be sick. Make
Ooh,
that happen.
go up to like a road game to Virginia Tech.
Oh, that would be a fun trip. That'd be a fun trip.
Maybe the Syracuse Dome. I've always wanted to see it.
I want to go there, but for a basketball game.
I just can't believe,
dude.
I just thought they definitely like Syracuse is basically a blue blood, and it was weird to me to find out as a kid like it's the same stadium. Like you'd think they have their own big arena, but they play on like a half of the football field.
It's kind of sick.
It's nostalgic at this point.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
Kind of sick. Well, it's awesome for like
It's
when they
sick,
have
yeah.
packed out basketball games. It's like so many people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, like dual purpose stadiums, why can't we get like one Lightning game a year where they play in the Trop?
It's too hot, man.
It'd be so cool.
It would be so cool.
They used to play in the Trop,
like
man.
45,000 in there.
I saw pictures of like when they first played their first couple seasons. Well, the Lightning played at the fairgrounds and they played in like a shack.
It's still there. It's small.
I mean, I think it might have been smaller than the Coyotes stadium, but then I saw pictures of the Trop. Oh man,
that would be awesome.
Take me back.
Make that happen.
My dad's got stories. It's like, man, I wish I was there.
If I could time travel, dude, that would be stop
First
number
place you're
one.
going.
A Lightning game at
it's
the
in
Trop.
my top 10.
And bake the Gasparilla Bowl. Put it back in the Trop, please.
I don't know.
Here at TB3, we love the Trop.
Speaking of which, I gotta see
greatest ballpark.
I gotta see UCF's downfall in the
Ha
Gasparilla Bowl, Georgia Tech. I didn't think they were gonna win because it was an odd week for them. Georgia Tech is kind of a numbers team. There's a tech school, guys, so you know they crunch the numbers. But they won. They dominated. UCF choked too, which was kind of funny. One thing that surprised me, my biggest takeaway, Georgia Tech showed up.
Like fan-wise?
I don't know if that was their entire fan base showing up to that game, but I was like, man, I cannot believe there's that many Georgia Tech fans.
That's awesome.
So good for them.
It seemed really crowded. Like it was like
The
lower
lower
bowl was
bowl-
full. That's crazy.
Upper deck wasn't packed.
But, I mean, that's fuller. I think that's even fuller than when it was Florida UCF.
Oh, dude, no. That game was filled to the brim. Because that's because Gators have a lot of fans.
Well, yeah, but that was...
But there was not a soul in the upper deck for this
okay.
game. It was just lower bowl. Because, like, we both sat upper deck for that game, right?
I sat upper deck.
I sat upper deck, too, but
And
I
it
think
was,
on the other side.
No, it was... Actually, there were people around us. It was pretty full.
Yeah, it was decently packed for that game.
It was a horrible game.
I think, dude, last year it was like $2 a ticket. It was like Wake Forest
Missouri.
and Missouri.
I think it was Wake Forest and Missouri. That's a crazy game. That was the game that made Missouri have their revenge this season, maybe.
Yeah, and it like poured. I think it was like pouring down rain.
I don't know.
Looked ugly, but yeah. So decent showing for Georgia Tech. Shout out you guys, man. I'm impressed.
Yeah, and then while we're on college football, in our college football special edition episode, which you guys can still watch if you guys are looking for some of the last 2 weeks of bowl season, looking for some guidance and some wisdom. But we did not predict or pick the college football playoff games because we were going to wait and see what develops in the storylines. But that is next week. It is on New Year's Day. I'm going to be in Arizona because I'm going to Fiesta Bowl. Liberty versus
TB3
Oregon. TB3 correspondent. Hopefully I get to see a Liberty upset W.
I got to talk to you after the pod.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
Dude,
but
we might pull some content if you can.
Oh, okay. We'll see. But, yes, on that day, the Rose Bowl at 5 p.m., Alabama versus Michigan. It doesn't get any better than that. And then you top the night off, the Sugar Bowl, you got Texas, you got Washington. These are going to be, I think, some great games. Great, just awesome. I love college football. I'm so excited to watch these games. And, Joel, if there's anything from these two games that you want to, what's a takeaway or a key or something you want to say about either of these two games?
Michigan, come on. This is our year. Let's do this. We got to do this year. I want this. I know we're cheaters, but I want a national championship.
I agree. If Michigan can't do it this year, they're never doing it.
Well, and they're not going to
I don't
this
think
year.
so
I hate to break it to you guys.
I don't think they are either, but I just want it. I want it one of these days.
Michigan has played 4 real teams this year, and that was Ohio State, Maryland, Penn State, and Iowa. And in those games, they averaged 282 yards per game. If they averaged that the entire season, they would have like the 115th ranked offense in all of college football. And they all played, those were top defenses, top 30 defenses. Iowa's defense is good, as we know. Penn State's is good. Maryland's up there, apparently. Alabama's 16th. Okay, they're 16th. They are going to dominate Michigan because Michigan doesn't play anybody. And I think I've said this, I don't get the hype for the Big Ten. I don't understand it. You have 2 teams who carried it, but even then they have nothing to show for it. They just have 2 popular teams, Michigan, Ohio, that literally is a rivalry because of an actual war for Toledo. I think they fought over the rights to Toledo, which is man, who wants it now? It's a complete dump. But that one time they did. They really wanted that land. So it's like a historic rivalry, and it's on TV. It's a big game. But yeah, they're not good though. They don't do anything. And I think Michigan is terrible. I think they have just played a very weak schedule, and even the best teams they played, I think, aren't that good. And Alabama's going to smoke them. That's just the reality. I think I'll just go into predictions. Alabama's going to smoke them.
I think Michigan, smoke's a strong word because I don't think this is Alabama's team of past, but I don't know. But I think a key for Michigan is they got to establish their run game. They have not been able to establish their run game against non-Big Ten teams in the last couple years. That's made them look weak and frail. I don't know if they're going to, but if they're going to win this game, they have to establish that run game. And for Alabama, I would say the key, well, also to back up that point, the games that Alabama has looked suspect, Auburn was able to run the ball on them. Texas established the run game early on them. USF, Byron Brown, some of those runs, that was there. What else? A&M, anytime Alabama's looked suspect on defense, it's because people have been able to run the ball on them. And I don't know if J.J. McCarthy is a good enough quarterback to he's not. He's not a good enough quarterback to win on his own like the other 2 quarterbacks, Ewers or Penix. So that's the key for Michigan. Get the run game going somehow, some way. I know they're missing that guy who tore his ACL or
their lineman.
Yeah, their lineman against Ohio State. So that's the key for them. Alabama, I would say, take care of the ball, man. The Texas game, Jalen Miller threw interceptions. If they take care of the ball, I think they're in a good spot in this game. So, Joel, what's your prediction?
I'm going to take Alabama. I want Michigan. I hope Michigan wins, but if we're being realistic here, I'm going to go Alabama. Alabama, if we're doing scores, let me do scores.
We're just doing picks.
Okay, good. I was I don't know the score at all.
Yeah, I think Alabama wins this one too. I had a score loaded up, so I'll just say it. But I think they'll win this one 34-23. I think it'll be a comfortable win. Michigan will hang around. They're the number 1 team. They're not bad, and I don't think this is the dominating Alabama team of past. They just win games, but they don't win games like the early 2010s. But I think it's going to be too much for the Wolverines. So give me Alabama.
They're not dominating, but the difference is Michigan is not good, and they haven't faced a team like this all year.
That's fair.
I
say Alabama's going to win. I just don't think it's going to be a blowout.
If I were predicting scores, I'm saying 51 to 26.
Man,
I'm being dead serious.
That sounds.
And this is what frustrates me because I think for a number 4 team going into the playoffs, that's exactly who you wanted to play. I think there's another team who would been licking their chops to get to play them, but we've already talked about that. Sugar Bowl.
I'm so excited.
This will be the better game of the two.
This is going to be a doozy. Oh, this could be such a good game.
This will be a Big 12 game. I think we're going to see high scoring. I think neither defense is really going to stop each other. I think Texas defense is good.
And Washington defense, they've had a couple bad games, but they make timely stops. They're better than people give them credit for. They've stopped some potent offenses. They've held Oregon to a reasonable thing. Holding these offenses to 30 or 20 has been good. That USC game was terrible. I'll give them that. They played bad.
I think this is going to be a shootout, man.
I think it's going to be a shootout, but not like a 50 shootout, like a high 30 shootout.
It's going to be high. I'm saying mid-40s. I'm saying like 45, 42.
There's going to be a couple plays. Whoever gets that big pick, I was going to say tipped ball. Whoever gets that big pick, whoever gets that big fumble, big fourth down stop, that's who's going to win this game. And I think both defenses of these teams have been able to make timely stops. So, and both quarterbacks are good. I think Michael Penix is a little bit better than Quentin Ewers, but Quentin Ewers has a better, I don't know, wide receiver core is even, but in the line of scrimmage, I don't know. Washington's got a good line, too. This could be such a good game, man. Such a good game.
I love Michael Penix, and I will be rooting for Washington in this game. But I think one thing that Steve Sarkisian has done a good job as Texas is he's gotten away from the Big 12-esque type team where it's high-scoring offense, terrible defense. I think Texas defense is a little better. They're not going to be able to stop Washington as well because I do think Rome Odunze and Michael Penix is just a formidable force. They got another
Johnson.
Yeah, they got a lot of good receivers, so it's going to be tough. But I think at the end of the day, whoever has the ball in their hands last is winning, and I do think the team that's winning is Texas.
Man, I gotta go Washington on this one.
Nice.
I love Washington.
I will be rooting for Washington too. I think I think Washington's America's team as far as we're all concerned.
And you know what Washington has done that Texas hasn't? Washington's won every game.
Hey, and they've played in a better conference too. Pac-12 was much better than the Big 12.
Dude,
but
that is where I get a little frustrated because this is. I didn't like what I saw from Utah against Northwestern.
That was crazy.
That kind of made me sick.
That was crazy, but Utah is, man, they're battered with injuries. Yeah,
but they played without Cam Rising all year and still did good.
It's not just Cam Rising. It's like half their teams.
I don't know. I saw that. It made me a little sick about the Pac-12.
That's true.
That's why that's not why I'm picking Texas. But
and Cal.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying.
Man, Pac-12, step it up. Pac-12, step it up. We can't have this. I'm going to take Texas. It feels like we're on the Texas-Alabama collision course. I think it's going to be tight game. I think Texas wins by a late field goal. If I was giving you a score, I'd say 38-35 Texas. But, man, it's going to be a great game. I'm so excited to watch that game. I don't care if I'm on vacation. The family, we're getting back to the hotel. We're watching it. And if we're not going to be back at the hotel, I'm watching it on my phone. I'm watching it on my phone.
Fiesta Bowl's going to be sick, though, man.
I'm excited for the Fiesta Bowl. We will, whatever Will's going to say, we'll have some content. I'll have some pictures. I'll be a bunch of Arizona things, so I'll check out the Diamondback Stadium. I'll check out. I'm going to a Phoenix Suns game. I'll share some of those experiences. That's going to be fun. So, yeah, I'll be in there.
Should go to Six Flags.
Maybe. We'll see. We only got a couple days. We'll see what we're doing. And we want to see some desert stuff. I like the desert, man. I like looking at stuff. But, yes.
Here, let me say this. When Colby inevitably gets one of those bowl game scores right, he will not get the points.
Oh, yeah, man. That's all right. Yeah, I was ready for scores, so they were on my mind. I had to dump them.
You're going to get one.
We just didn't do it for any of the other bowl games. We didn't even do it for Florida State.
I'm getting the Bucs. I'm getting the Bucs score right this week. I know it.
Yeah, for you Florida State fans, man, stay strong.
That's going to not be a good game.
This week at 4 o'clock.
Do they have enough teams? Enough players to field the team?
I'm going to go through their roster here real quick just to. So their third-string quarterback is starting. That's Brock Glenn. Running back, no Lawrence Toafili, no Trey Benson. Wide receivers, no Johnny Wilson, no Keon Coleman. Tight ends, no Jaheim Bell, no Marquise Douglas. O-line is solid. They're only losing one starter. That's Bless Harris. But on defense, no Jared Verse. You do get Braden Fisk. You get Braden Fisk. He decided to play. And defense is a little more positive. You have Patrick Payton who's playing. You have Josh Farmer who's playing at defensive line as well. There was rumors he's in the transfer portal. Linebackers Tatum Bethune and Kalen DeLoach are playing, but then you get to your secondary. Good
for DeLoach, man.
Yeah, what a turnaround, man. He was in the Willie Taggart days, and
Good
now
for
he
him.
might have a chance at the NFL. So we'll see. The only really starter you have coming back is Fentrell Cypress in the secondary. You kind of have a fringe player, Shaheem Brown. He's gotten some reps, but outside of that, no starters. So it's going to be a battle to score points for Florida State, but I'll be rooting for them. It's at 4 o'clock
Year's
on
Eve?
December 30th.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those years, again, where the NFL has like a Sunday and a holiday, so you're not going to see bowl games.
Hey, I like a Saturday anyways. I prefer Saturday anyways.
Saturdays are for college.
Yeah.
But one thing we haven't done in a while, predictions. I'm in the lead still, believe it or not, 72 points.
Man.
Colby and Joel are tied at 69.
If Colby gets this point, will he be
If you guys vote for Colby, he'll be in second with 70. So
Don't do it.
Vote for me.
Don't do it.
do
I'm
that
Brent
as
Peterson.
you will.
President of the United States. But yes, that's funny. Next week, we're gonna try to keep pumping out content. This is your Christmas week episode. We're gonna try to give you guys. The plan is we'll give you guys a episode next week. I'm not gonna be here, so either it's gonna be TB2 or you're gonna have a new or a returning host. Maybe an Ethan might show up. Maybe not. We'll see. It's a busy time for everyone, but we're gonna have an episode next week. Then the week after. You'll have an episode. It might be a little later in the week, but you should not get a week with no TB3. So you're welcome,
keep it
guys.
going.
We're trying. We got momentum, but we got to keep it going.
It's big. I think we should say we got over 100 views on our
Yeah.
last video. That's
In like 2 days.
for us. That's huge,
Yeah,
man.
we
So
appreciate
we
it.
thank you guys so much. Whatever I want to know, I don't know. Maybe you're a bunch of Bulls, maybe you're a bunch of Lightning fans or Bucs, but thank you for listening.
Maybe you're haters and you're trying to get the breakdown on your team.
Yeah, maybe so.
Hey.
But we're glad you're here, and I hope you're listening right now, and I appreciate it. So give us a thumbs up if you heard that.
Yep.
So.
Or leave a comment. Tell us what's up. But yes, thank you guys for listening. If you made it here, thank you guys so much. Remember, if you accidentally skipped to the end, you can go back and look at the timestamps. You can follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. We're pumping out content. And also, subscribe, follow on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, all that stuff. And thank you guys. Good night.
All right, to close it out, if the Bucs are on Fox, you know I gotta play that. We're going out with the Fox Sports NFL theme.